Okay. I just want to make sure we're go. Uh, can somebody go to the stream to see if we're streaming?
We appear to be so. Oh, also, goodness, Lydia, that is getting is very different than one I'm seeing on the Discord of myself.
Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Defy the Gods live stream. This is for the upcoming game by the creator of Raccoon Sky Pirates, Chris Sellers, who should be joining us later. Joining us tonight, first off, we have Maria. Maria, tell us about your character.
Alrighty, I will be playing Inara, a former sorcerer who traveled to the realm of the dead to try and rescue her lost love, failed, and came back stripped of her powers, but with a new affinity for the underworld.
Okay.
Carries a piece of it with her.
And your playbook was?
The Revenant.
Alrighty. Next up, we have Chris from Pop One Open. Chris, tell us about your character.
Everybody. Hi, I'm Chris. I'm going to be playing Desir, a cultist who worships at the altar of Vexoria, the goddess of pleasure and pain, and his main goal is to spread the good word, so to speak.
Alrighty, thank you, Chris. Next up, we have Nate.
Oh, and my playbook is the vessel.
Oh, yes, thank you. Nate, tell us your playbook and tell us about your character. Okay, Nate is having technical difficulties. We're going to jump over to Kel. Kel, go ahead and tell us your playbook and tell us about your character.
Oh, yes, certainly. I'm Kel. I'm going to be playing a sorcerer by the name of Gister, a strange and elusive man who found himself a little bit too lost in the sauce, so to speak, with the ancient Atlantean texts and scrolls. And he feels as though he has learned things that the other world doesn't understand, and he wishes to share his understanding with everybody else.
Excellent, excellent. Now, just while we wait for Nate to sort out the technical difficulties, is everything good, Nate? You're muted. Okay, I'll give a quick rundown of the setting in the game that we'll be playing. It is Defy the Gods. It is a career sword and sorcery RPG. Using the Powered by the Apocalypse system, loosely inspired by Thirsty Sword Lesbians by Evil Hat Productions, or Evil Hat Games. I'm sorry that I got the name wrong. It will be launching on Kickstarter in about 2 weeks, and the link to the Kickstarter is in the description and will be updated if it needs to be changed. Alright, it looks like we have lost Nate. But, okay. Alrighty, Nate has rejoined us. Excellent. The last part, characters and the setting were created previously, which is done custom for every campaign. And there are a series of world-building questions that are asked, and that creates the world that you will be playing in. In addition to that, once characters are created, there are a number of relationship questions of how the characters know each other. We have not done, and how they relate to the powers that be in the world. Those have not been done yet. We are going to do those now on camera so everybody can get an idea of what it looks like. We'll just do one question per, and we'll just keep going until they're all taken care of. Maria, go ahead and give us your first question. It's on your playbook sheet.
Alrighty, the first question that my character receives... I apologize. So, world forces. After creating world forces, I have to answer 1 to 2 questions about them. The states a member of the Pantheon helped me...
We're doing the other set first, the character relations.
Okay. Yes. Okay. The relationship questions. I was giving 0 to 2 hearts to each other adventurer. The first question on my play sheet is, who has tried to get the rest of the world to accept you as a new person? Why hasn't it worked? In earlier discussions, Nate was considering having taken this role, and I attributed 1 heart to it.
Okay.
I'm playing the character of...
All right, so Nate, you will add that heart on your character sheet. And
Okay.
there are a number of moves that the hearts can be used for that we will address as they arise.
Would you like me to give my character introduction while we're at it?
Yes, please. Go ahead. So yes, Nate, who has rejoined us with technical issues hopefully resolved, tell us your playbook and a little bit about your character.
Yeah, I'm Nate. I'm playing a character who is a wolfling, which means that they were raised by animals. My character was raised by cats. So their name is Psst, because that's kind of the noise that people make when they're trying to attract people's attention. So they didn't know any better. That's just my character's name. Basically, my whole interaction with the world is I don't quite understand it. I don't fit in as either a cat or as a person. And people are just always trying to tame me and make me conform to the rules. But I don't want that to take away who I really am.
Excellent. Okay, so we've done Maria's first question, and you gave 1 heart to Psst, correct?
Correct.
All right, go ahead and add that on your character sheet. Psst. See, it's going to be hard for for Nate to know if I'm like addressing them or just trying to get somebody's attention. All right. Next, we're going to go to Chris. Chris, give us your first question.
My first question is, whom do you trust almost as much as your patron, and what do you trust them with? Not entirely sure who to add here. Any takers?
Could you repeat the question?
Who do you trust almost as much as your patron, and what do you trust them with?
I guess, like, depending on how much antipathy your character has for certain members of the Patreon, the Pantheon, mine is fairly anti-deity. If there's any antipathy there.
There's definitely antipathy towards the more major aspects of the Pantheon, so that could be a really fun, it could be a very fun, relationship basis. Would you like that one? Sorry, how do you say this character's name?
That's Inara.
Okay, so that. I'm just looking in to see how to spell it. Okay, so Inara, and I'm going to put down 1 heart for you.
Sounds good.
All right, Kel, give us your first question.
Oh, yes, certainly. My first question is, who sees beauty in your chaos, despite what the world thinks? You know, I definitely got to hand it over to my homeboy, Psst, here. You know, he's kind of like he's a little bit foreign to the conventional rules of society. He doesn't find it quite as easy to fit in himself. So, you know, I think I'm gonna hand. I can give up to 2 hearts. I'm gonna hand 2 hearts to good old Psst here.
Whoa.
Yes, he is. Yes, he understands that the fundamental laws of society, there might be flaws within them that they're trying to change him, but he may not, may not have the same ideas as me, which is ideal, but he's on the right track.
Alrighty. Now, psst. I might be saying it too short where it's not obvious that I'm saying it, but psst, go ahead and give us your first question.
Who once stopped you from breaking a serious law? What did it cost them? I could see it going any way here. Any proposals? Ideas?
What was your template again?
I am the wolfling, so I just do not understand society. So I probably would very accidentally break laws all the time.
Yeah. What do you mean I don't need to pin someone down in the market square and put my teeth out their throat to establish dominance? It's just a play fight. Why are y'all taking it so seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I should be giving Inara a heart for that one then, because Inara, kept me from getting in trouble in the marketplace.
Oh, would I mark this in addition to the one I already have? First.
So, you shouldn't have that first one, because when you do these questions, you give the heart to the other player. So just leave what you have for, and that'll be for that. Alright, but that does bring us back to you. Go ahead and give us your next question.
Alrighty, my next question is, who once defended me from Galu demons, and why do I think they did it?
Really quick, tell us a little bit about the Galu demons and what they are.
So the Galu demons are folks trying to, from the underworld, trying to drag me back into it, and is who once defended vines, as we've established that the underworld in this setting is kind of a garden where souls are reborn.
Okay. And the question was, who defended you from them? Alright. Who's it going to be?
Yeah. Any takers?
I'll take that one. That sounds like fun.
Right. Alrighty, give one heart to Desir the Sorcerer.
Alrighty, there you go. And Desir, give us your next question.
My next question is, who shows interest in you just to get to your patron? Do you really see what's going on?
Interesting.
I have someone in mind for that, but it's up to them if they want to take it.
Okay.
I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, but I think Gister, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
I feel like that would be a really fun one because you are a sorcerer who loves forbidden knowledge, and you could be, trying to access my patron for said forbidden knowledge. I think that could be a very fun.
Oh yes,
character.
yeah. I think that is really fun. Gister has a very antagonistic relationship with, the god of governance within the city, and may seek to undermine them in any way that he would wish. So trying to get at someone's patron could definitely be a means of doing that.
Excellent. Now, really quick, the world power questions, if you want to, those don't require interaction from the other players to answer, so if you want to go ahead and jot down the answers for them while we're focused on other people, that way we can, and we'll go over those once we finish the relationship questions. Or if you want to wait, it's up to you. That being said, Gister, what is your next question?
Yes, whom did you help with your sorcery? How has this made problems for them? Oh, I got a really nefarious idea here. One of my character's spells allows them to animate objects and give them kind of like a sense of life in a certain way. Maybe in an ill-fated attempt to comfort Inara, I believe. Maybe I could have attempted to animate, some form of objects to represent her lost lover at some point as a means of helping her cope.
Yeah, good. I think that would get a bit bristly, but she'd appreciate the effort.
Yes.
It's like, yes, I know it's friend shaped, but it is not friend.
This is a mop. This is an animated mop. Is that all you saw about?
Be your friend.
The Fantasia method.
Excellent. Alrighty. What's your next question?
My next question is, who embodies your idea of human? Why them? So it says we're supposed to give a heart to each character, so that means I should be looking at Desir and Gister for this. I'm sorry, I don't remember what all of your playbooks are. Gister, you're a sorcerer, right?
Yes.
My character's a bit corpsey to be looking at for humanity.
Yeah, I am a vessel.
Vessel, okay. And what's your playbook again, Inara?
I'm the Revenant.
Sorry, I did not remember that.
Excuse me.
I'm writing it down. Okay, so, so vessel or sorcerer. My idea of human. I have a feeling that this is going to go to Gister, and it's got. Or no, I just have one from Gister. It's probably going to be a +2. I probably just saw them doing something with like with some sort of object like a book or a coin or some sort of totem, and I was like, whoa, that is so human. I've never seen a cat do that.
100% human verified.
Does everybody have 2 questions, or is it 3 each?
I have
Three
3.
each.
I have 3.
Okay, so that brings us back to Inara with her 3rd and final question.
Okay, this has to be something for Gitster. Who did you leave behind in... Oh, wait, no, sorry, Wolf Forces. Who thinks they know who you really are? Why do you want to believe them? I don't know. Do I want people to really know who I am? I suppose for the premise, I do. Why do you think you know who I really am, Gitster?
Well, I would say because you were a sorcerer at one point. You know, you were a sorcerer. You went to the underworld. You came back as a revenant. So I kind of see us, we're colleagues in a sense. You know,
both have that pursuit of knowledge.
Yes.
Both have that pursuit of knowledge. Alrighty. Okay.
I like that.
A sorcerer.
Alright, Jazir, give us your next question.
My final question is, who shared a dream with you and your patron? What warning did your patron give to you both? I feel like this one should go to Psst, because he's the only one that does not have a bonding question. Although I am unsure of what dream we would both share at the current moment.
Okay, is that 1 or 2 hearts?
You would be 2 hearts, because Inara has 1 and Gister has 0.
Oh, we're supposed to be giving...
I thought it was at our discretion.
I think it's
Yeah.
at your
Oh yeah,
discretion.
wait, is it? Oh, okay, wait, okay, then I'm gonna switch that up. No, I'm gonna keep what it is. So you could be, you know what? Let's do 2 hearts anyway, so I can keep it, I don't know, symmetrical.
Okay. Gister, your 3rd and final.
Oh yes, my 3rd question is, who do you think secretly wants to be changed by your sorcery? You know, I'll definitely hand it to my homie Gazir here. You know, he kind of subscribes or wants to be adherent to this patron, maybe in a desperate attempt to gain more knowledge or maybe kind of free himself from something in his past. And if he only listens to me and my secrets, I can show him the true way.
That's fun.
I like that answer.
That's very fun. I like that.
Alrighty. This brings us to with their 3rd and final question.
Whom have you shown a place in the wilds that's special to you? Why did you do it? Well, I think it's going to be Desir, because Desir shared this special dream with me of their, minor deity, and I'm like, whoa, you know what's special to me? Wilderness. Check this out. I think that's going to be
right.
like 2.
Oh.
You showed him your favorite berry patch in the woods. That's very
Place
nice.
by the river where the wild roses grow.
Is that stinkweed? I love stinkweed.
It probably was stinkweed.
Yeah, the cats have very different standards than we.
Indeed. Okay. So that is everybody's interpersonal relationship questions. We are going to go ahead and knock out the world power questions now. Inara, what is your first question?
Alrighty. I thought we had established that it's some of the character creation. A member of the Pantheon helped you escape to death. What did you do to make them seek your destruction? My initial proposal was that the deity in charge of love initially sponsored her quest to try and recover her loved one, but then turned on Inara after finding out that it's not purely out of love. It's more out of a compulsion, an inability to let go, rather than just pure love.
Okay.
And the gods of love ain't about that.
Nope. Chris, Desir, what is your first world power question?
My first world power question is, who among the Pantheon hates your patron, and when did this start? I would think the god or goddess that hates my patron the most is Tapestra, the goddess of truth and honesty. Because this is my deity is inherently chaotic, and it therefore interferes with their idea of governance.
Excellent. Okay. Gister, your first question, please. Are there two of these
Yes.
or three?
I see 3 on mine.
Okay.
My first question here is, how did you once breach death's barrier? Who haunts you now as a result? You know, toiling away, reading through my scrolls that I shouldn't be reading, my books that I shouldn't be reading, I found a piece of knowledge that allowed me to peer into the world of the afterlife. And during that time period, I saw the Atlanteans, those long dead Atlanteans, peer at me back. And I now forever see them out of the corners of my eyes, and they fill the pupils of my eyes and the whites of my eyes with a strange multicolored ink that continuously fills and drains from them.
Excellent. All right. Your first roll power question, please.
Wow, everyone else's seem really deep compared to my answer here. How do you fail to pass as a civilized human in the city? If you understand the error, why do you refuse to change? I bathe too often. People think it's gross. Or I think it's gross that they don't bathe enough. I
Excellent.
bathe all the time.
So their form of bathing's not quite on board with humanity's level.
That's fantastic.
All right. Anara, question number 2, please.
Alrighty, question number 2. Who among the city's ruling class will never accept your new self? Why? Pretty much, like, conceptually, she's just set to a lower caste because she's somewhat of a walking corpse. Particularly because in our city establishing questions, unless it's a spoiler to go into those, would it be?
Not really.
Okay, yeah, since in our world establishing questions, we established that the ruling class lives atop a giant hanging gardens tower, at the top of which they have a fruit of immortality. They kind of perhaps see her as just something to be shunned. She's the death they are avoiding, in a way.
Good answer. Desir?
Who among the city's proper cults seeks your destruction, and why? I would think out of every member of the Pantheon that would seek my destruction, it would be Shara, because as the deity of vengeance, they taught the world that pain is to be a tool to control others, while my deity seeks to expand the world that pain is nothing more than something that should be embraced and something that should be loved by all instead of a tool of fear and oppression.
Okay. I like it. Gister, your next question, please.
Yes, my next question is, who among the influential of the city shun you for your body's shape or the way that you act? Most certainly, the many members of the church of, or kind of religious organization of Tapestra would absolutely despise Gister. He spent a good portion of his days, after learning the information that he did, conversing with them, asking them simple questions, questioning the very foundations of what their god stands for. And for that, they decided to just kind of throw him in the trash and completely disregard him as a person.
Okay, so I'm going to do something with that really quick. One in particular has gone above and beyond to try to make your life hell. It is one. They're not a proper member of the Temple of Tapestra yet, but they have designs on the... they're actually one of the city oligarchs, but they have designs on ranks within the Tapestra hierarchy as wanting to be one of the high priests. It is a man by the name of Kashad.
Kashad?
Yes, Keshad.
Here we go. I'll be eagle-eyed for that guy. I ain't gonna let him get away from me. My sworn nemesis, Kashad.
Alright, Nate, you're up.
Okay, what forbidden place in the wilds did you once trespass? Who won't forgive you? I once trespassed in an Atlantis temple, and my cat mom has never forgiven me for it.
Mm.
You'll
It's a
one day
sad
earn her
story.
forgiveness. I believe you.
All right, so third and final question, Anara.
Okay, my last question is, what did you leave behind in the underworld, and what pious person is using them as leverage over you? I've established my character is currently being kind of extorted for seances with her dead love by one of the local priest class. And also she had to leave her sorcerer powers behind in the underworld. And actually, now that I think about it, there is a massive, at least Sumerian myth in that vein, where the gal
Not be
traveling to the
surprised.
underworld had to leave behind her vestments of power.
Excellent. Okay. Desir, you're up, my friend.
My final question is: how did your patron protect you from a divinely sent plague, and why has your survival enraged death? I will say that as a child, I was stricken with a deadly illness, and because the pain was so great, I prayed to whoever would listen to save me and keep me healthy, and it was answered by Vexoria, who thought that my pain was a special type of pain, and it gave her, a bit of an extra power boost, so to speak. So she decided to save me, and my survival enrages death because I was supposed to die as like a predestined, you're supposed to die when you're supposed to die, and that was when I was supposed to punch my ticket.
Okay. Guess your third and final, please.
Yes, my third question here is, what did you once learn that caused the Pantheon to sentence you to the same destruction Atlantis faced? I would say that, Gister may have learned that a lot of the fabric of reality is not deterministic. It's not vested in, laws and particular concrete beliefs. Everything is very entropic or very chaotic. And for daring to kind of try to inform people of this or talk of it, he was considered what's the word?
Heretic?
Heretic. Yes, a
Right.
heretic of sorts to the Pantheon for questioning their divine design, so to speak.
This is the name of the game. We gotta start defying them.
Mhm.
Yep, defying them their gods. Alrighty, your final question, please.
What did you bring with you from the Atlantean ruin? How is it getting harder to keep it a secret? I brought a cursed amulet with me, and it's getting harder to keep secret because it changes my scent, and the scent gets stronger over time. Not necessarily bad, but it's kind of weird if someone smells like lilacs, right?
And sedated?
A little bit. Did we establish that this was the amulet in question for the adventure, or is it a different amulet?
I don't know if we've established that or not. I will leave it up to your discretion.
I think, well, if that is the case, I mean, we can totally do that. So,
Can we review the Pantheon before we get started?
absolutely, I am pulling up the notes right now. So we have 3 established gods in the Pantheon who all have temples within the city. The chief among the locally worshipped deities is Tapestra. Her primary domain is truth. Her natural world domain is the sky and storms. She is also a goddess of oath and honesty, and the mortal affairs she is involved with are governance. Next, we have Shara, the deity of vengeance. Their natural world domain is cats. They're also the god, or the deity. They have they/them pronouns. But they are also the deity of hunger, and the mortal affairs they involve themselves with is hunters and the hunt. Finally, we have Namok, who uses any pronouns. They are the god of death and decay. Also renewal, just kind of the constant life cycle of death and renewal that is present in many mythologies. And fittingly, the mortal affairs they involve themselves with are funerals. This is taking place in the city of Lassalum, which is in a reed marsh. It is the city is led by feuding groups of wealthy individuals, oligarchs, nobles, however you wish to describe them. As mentioned, Tapestry is the chief among the deities within the city. And the thing it is famous for, they have a hanging gardens, and in this hanging gardens, they grow a fruit that enables a longevity for those who eat it. Some say it even allows them to be immortal. Okay. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Not long ago, you all in one of the Atlantean ruins in the area, you discovered an amulet. And this amulet, is ancient gold setting with a gem that used to bear a face that has worn. The details of it have been worn away over time. Now, unfortunately, times have been tough, and you guys have needed to acquire a little extra coin. So you have made an effort to try to see if anybody would buy this amulet from you. You went about town looking for a potential buyer, to no avail. The next day, before you could set out, Kashad, your friend, Kashad showed up with a small army of his personal guard, and they took the amulet from you by force.
What a scoundrel.
What a scoundrel indeed. Now, it is the day after that particular affront against you, and obviously, money aside, you just can't let something like this go. You've decided that you need to get that amulet back. Go ahead, and you're getting together in your home or in a local, we'll say in a local dining establishment, or they did have those, but at a local tavern you have gathered, and you are making your plans. It is early into the day, so that it's not terribly crowded yet, so you feel safe to make your plans to go about retrieving this amulet from the would-be priest. Go ahead and roleplay among yourselves. And
so, was this the amulet they took that I took from the temple?
yes, so yeah, that it is that amulet, and you'll agree that it does make you smell neat, but we need to eat, so that's why it was decided to be sold.
It's truly despicable, the actions of that despicable Kashad.
Hey, it's nothing new.
What a
He follows that
scoundrel.
false god. False god. The
I think that's
structure from which everything is laid. Ugh.
I mean, the god's kind of demonstrably there.
No,
Yes.
they are built upon a foundation, a fractionalized lie, you see. They take chaos and they morph it into something that they claim is law, that they claim is order, is causality, but it is not true. It is a lie, a fallacy.
I mean,
In
they're
that
the ones
sense, they
shaping
are
the
false.
chaos. That's a bit much. They're the ones shaping the chaos. Like, they could, I suppose, whatever they decide it's shaped into. But I don't like the decisions they've been making with shaping that chaos so far.
Indeed.
I've been very passionate about eating because I have to survive. So I'm not too pleased that there's a chance we may starve to death because our meal ticket has been taken from us.
Why are we here? We can't buy any drinks.
You have a few coins to buy a few things to eat and perhaps a drink or two.
The last meal we'll be having for a while. Everyone's savor it. It's bread and water.
Perhaps Shara will give us adequate prey to survive, but it's a shame that we have such weak human hands to catch them with.
As you're discussing these things, it starts to rain outside, and the sky has gone dark. Continue.
It's not even giant mosquito season, so we can't even eat those.
I've never been a fan of giant mosquito. It's a little too stringy.
Yeah. I mean, we're hardly in a place to be choosing.
Yes, that is true. Well, despite the fact that we will no longer have any food or anything to eat, we need to recover that amulet, not just for the principle of the theft, but of the secrets that can be kept within it. If it is capable of making our feline friend here smell so despicably disgusting, maybe it is capable of other magics, if only we had enough time to unravel its mysteries.
I mean, what are we gonna do? Take on the whole oligarchy? The immortal oligarchy?
No, not exactly, but what we can do is maybe finesse this amulet back into our possession. Whether it be that we need to sell it to earn our wage, or perhaps we can figure out what exactly it does, and from there we can find enough riches to eat as much bread as we'd like.
So,
what do they
is
even
very
want with the
tempting.
amulet?
more people are crowding into the tavern as the sky continues to darken. Peals of thunder can be heard splitting the sky, and
let's take our table to the corner.
And the torrent of rain intensifies.
Let's take our table to the corner.
Can I try to make a playbook move here?
Absolutely.
I would like to try to smell the truth.
Okay. Let me just pull that up really quick. Nope, not that. And tell everybody what smell the truth does.
When you attune to your heightened animal senses, invoke an epithet and roll. So, you smell or otherwise sense something true. Ask the GM one of the following. Is the person telling the truth? What does this person intend? What is about to happen that others don't see? And the GM will answer on a glowing success. On a burning success, something else. Or on a miss, my senses fail me. But I would trust my instincts in this, which is one of my epithets, and I want to know what they intend. What's the person's name that took the amulet?
That was Kashad. I think you would have to be in his presence to pick up on that.
Although this does segue well, perhaps Miss Bats could tell the audience about the epithet system.
So the stats in this particular system are known, as mentioned, as epithets. It is not the traditional stats such as, strength or spirit or dexterity or what have you that other systems have. Every character starts with 3 epithets, and each of those are ranked from a 0 to a +2. So with the 3, you'll have a 1 at 0, 1 at +1, and 1 at +2. The epithets, they are basically brief descriptors of your character. If you want to give us an example of one.
Yeah, so one of my epithets is who trusts their instincts. I think I also could use this smells the truth in this situation, because it seems like the situation is changing. So what I'd like to know is what is about to happen that others don't see.
Excellent. Go ahead and give us that roll.
Okay, so what do I roll here?
Okay, so with the exception of the sorcerer, all of your moves will be made using 2d6. What is your epithet ranked at?
This is a +1.
Okay, so you're going to roll 2d6 +1, and that will determine the outcome of this. So that's going to be a 5. So on that is a miss. So ask yourself one from the first list.
What is about to happen that others don't see?
Okay, and your senses tell you what you want to believe.
Something odd is happening here. Now, do I mark an experience because I missed?
Yes. Although, being a one-shot, that might not be something that gets factored in. But yeah, go ahead and mark the one experience.
Okay.
All right. Would anybody else? What would the others like to do?
Okay, so how do we finesse it? Like, we're not even allowed in the upper tiers.
We have certain ways of utilizing our powers in order to manipulate people.
Yeah, I can. Okay, yeah. I see potential a few avenues on my end.
Mine requires a bit more of a performance, but I can probably finagle something.
So we get to one of the upper tiers of the tower. We have to find out where Kashad lives, where he's keeping, or I suppose not where he lives, but where he's keeping the amulet, and then try and recover it from there.
Is this a figure-out check?
That would be a figure-out check. I will point out that at this point in time, your feet are getting wet. The water from the downpour is actually starting to flood into the building.
It's very early for monsoon season.
It is not the monsoon season. You do see a reasonable amount, a great deal of panic and running into streets once you break away from your conversation.
Methinks Shara is none too pleased.
Tapestry is the god of the storms.
Oh, sorry. Tapestry is none too pleased.
When is she?
No.
Literally one instance. Name one. I bet you can't.
I wouldn't even dare to try.
Well, shall we go out of the building? It doesn't seem safe in here. We're getting wet. This is awful.
Yeah, I think my ankle touched a fish. Gross. Gross.
When you wind up with fish in your shoes, that's when you know the flooding is bad.
It touched my ankle.
Hey, if you have fish in your shoes, that just means something we can grill up for later.
Oh, ooh, actually, I'm gonna try. Help me out with this. We're grabbing that fish.
Finesse, I think, would work.
Okay.
I also roll to help them, or...
Let me double check that. I believe there is an option for helping. I'm scrolling it up now. Okay, when you want to help, hinder, or sway someone, spend a heart of theirs and pick one.
We'll save the hearts for something important then.
Yep. So
yes, I would prefer not to waste a heart just yet.
Fair enough. But basically, what the influence lets you do, you can tempt them to do something. If they do it, they get an experience. If they refuse, you don't spend the heart. You can find out what it would take to get them to do what you want. You can aid or thwart them. After they roll, you can adjust it up or down by 1. Or you can get under their skin. Increase the result of your move towards them by +1 after you roll. When using this move on behalf of side characters, that's something I do. Okay, don't worry about that. So what was our roll on the... Oh, yeah.
That would be a complete failure. Alright, that's just a regular old vanilla miss.
But could I have been just, like, watching this whole thing and, like...
I don't know the ways of the cat.
Try to snatch in and grab it, like just sort of hiding my intention to do this the whole time, and then like snatch in and try to grab it.
Oh, absolutely.
Missed. So this would be my epithet, who keeps their intentions concealed, which is a +2 epithet.
Excellent.
So,
There we go.
And that's an important thing if you're hunting.
Right.
Okay, that is going to give us a 11. 11 is what is called a burning success. And this was, were you doing the finesse move?
Yes.
Okay. So you act on a burning success. Your curiosity, greed, or ambition has gotten the better of you. You will mark fire, and what happens is you reach too far or find more than you wanted. The GM will say how. I think in this case, since what you're trying to do is grab something to eat, instead of just the quick snatch, like reaching into the water and grabbing one, you pretty much dive full bodily into the water and grab a couple of fish, and everybody in the bar turns towards you, and you're
I come up with 2 fish in my hands and 1 in my mouth, like,
Truly are a mighty hunter.
Excellent, excellent, well done.
Truly a mighty hunter.
I look
That's
around and
really
I'm like,
coordinated, my friend.
oh crap, this is not ordinary, is it?
yes. You have done a social faux pas.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Care not what others think, my friend. You're doing nothing but satisfying your innate hunger.
I hand a fish to each one of my companions so they have
Aw.
something to eat.
Oh, thank you.
You
That's
are
very
a
kind.
scholar and a gentleman.
It's a good bean.
Dollar, what's that?
It's somebody that is very well read or well learned.
Your hunting abilities truly makes up for this pack's collective relative lack of them. We need all the hunting help we get.
So at this point, there's a combination of some people rushing in to the bar to escape what is now looks like it's becoming a flood. The storm itself isn't showing any sign of stopping, and there is, as before, panic shoutings in the street. Looking out, the water continues to deepen as time progresses. What would you like
We
to
need
do?
to get. We
Let's
need
get
to
to high
get to
ground.
higher ground.
We should get to higher ground.
Maybe they'll finally open up that darn tower.
Is this a common thing that occurs within the city? You know, floods every once in a while, or is this like unusual amount of flooding, for the area?
So flooding does happen. It is a seasonal thing. This is not the season for it.
Hmm. Is there like a second floor to the restaurant that we're in? Or...
Sure. Yep. There is a upstairs where the owner lives, and he's opening it up. Helping his local community. He's opening that up
Thank you,
for
sir.
people wanting to outrun the flooding.
Thank you, sir. Maybe we should. Are we able to. Is there roof access at all?
Yeah, you can get onto the roof.
Maybe we should hang out there. It's not going to be pleasant, but we could probably weather the storm a bit better than the folks who need space.
So,
Perhaps it could allow us to see what's happening outside as well.
Also that. Good viewpoint.
Alright, you head outside, head out on up into his small apartment, and scramble onto the roof, some with more difficulty than others. And the first thing, as you're looking down at the city itself, you do see it is approaching, submerging the bottom floor of most buildings, and there are a few of the less sturdy built buildings, the ones made of the local reeds or whatnot, are being washed away in the torrent.
Well, this isn't good.
And the other thing you notice is when you look up is that the clouds of the storm, instead of just forming a relatively uniform cloud cover as would be typical, they are actually forming a spiral pattern. The center of that spiral is centered over the local temple of Tapestra.
I think we should make a detour, so to speak.
Yep.
Of course, that damnable god is responsible for this.
Are we going to have to leap across the rooftops? Because I am all about that.
The streets themselves are becoming rivers. People are madly trying to escape from the water, clinging to whatever flotsam they can get a hold of, or being pulled to roofs if people can catch them on the way by. So navigating the streets themselves is nigh impossible. But if you would, by going from rooftop to rooftop, that is something that you would be hypothetically be able to do.
So
Maybe our best option.
After Gister suggests that we should go check out the temple, I think I just scramble and bolt and try to jump across to the rooftop in the direction of the temple. This is
Great
going
question.
to use trusts my instincts epithet, which is a +1.
Okay, and I think this is going to be the bolt move.
Yeah, I believe so. So let's see.
And up +2, that is going to give you a glowing success. But just barely.
That's a +1 is already included in that.
Yep, you got an 8. So 8, 9, 10 is glowing, 11, and 12 is burning.
Okay.
See,
So
now
I get
you
what I
have me
wanted.
doubting myself. I need to double check. Yep,
I
8 to 10 is
scrambled.
glowing.
I scramble, I jump across to the next rooftop, and I look back at my companions. I'm like, what are you all waiting for?
All right, so you take off across the. Okay. I will say that as you do this, you're able to find planks or ropes or things that you can toss back to enable the rest of the group to follow you.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you.
Yeah, I totally do that.
Wonderful.
I was like, what would this pack do without?
Well,
We'd be a woeful pack indeed.
you wouldn't have
As
any
cats are
fish.
known. Cats are known to be pack animals.
That they are. Like this little jerk here. Hey, buddy. The floof has awoken and is going to be demanding attention, but we can roll with that.
There have been depressingly few cats in the stream, besides my dice.
Indeed.
Those are
And
very
I
nice.
would provide a plush alternative.
Yay!
Well, don't worry, I got cats wandering around. You might see a peek of them, or
Well,
if you get a little
yeah.
close, I might.
You're
flash
making
one.
your
Oh,
internet.
look
You're
at
making
that
your
beam.
internet debut, buddy.
I would show off mine, but that would require moving the laptop. But I have a few of my cats roaming around as well.
Yeah, no telling where Mr.
combination
Tank
of
is.
experience, man. Oh, he's been roaming around this entire stream.
Excellent. So, so as you are laying makeshift bridges across the street and doing other measures, finding close enough roofs to jump across and making your way towards the temple, you hear panic screaming coming from what used to be one of the streets and is now yet another river created by this unrelenting torrent of rain.
We should render aid.
All right. So you
This
see
is their god.
You see a woman and a child clinging to a scrap of wood that looks like it's from a house that had been destroyed in the by the tempest, and they are they seem to be very much drained by their efforts, and they are floating alongside the building that you are currently atop of.
I would like to invoke my epithet, She Who Will Not Let Go, and grab onto them, get them onto a rooftop.
A very literal interpretation of that. Give us your what was your move?
I believe this would probably be.
It's not one. Is it one
I
of
guess
your?
bolt in terms of energy levels most closely. It's not a particular revenant move.
bolt works.
Okay. Ooh, saucy.
All right, that is a
Nice.
blown success. You manage to get a hold of the beam that they are clinging to, and
Come on.
being the one who will not let go, you are able to hold it in position next to the roof long enough to allow them to, with the assistance of your comrades, scramble from the debris onto the roof. The one that you presume to be the mother of the other one, as said, woman and child, says, Thank you for this. Have the gods forsaken us? Why have they decided to crush us with this torrent? Are they angry?
Perhaps it's merely another fickle whim.
You know how the gods are.
The facade is broken. You need to abandon your gods.
The
They
god
are nothing but...
the gods guide and protect us.
Look
It's a
above
fine
you,
job
look
they're doing of
around.
that.
I
Foundation
don't know
said
what
raid
world
is
you've been
destroyed.
living in, ma'am,
Sure.
but do you feel particularly protected by the yearly giant mosquito attacks?
That they
I don't.
they test us. That is, and she is seeming to show some doubt in her convictions, but is repeating the things that she would have heard repeated many a times to her from the pulpit on the temple days and high ceremonies of the gods. They test us. They guide and protect us. The mosquitoes are to make us stronger. The floods test our resolve, and they test our, and it's pretty much
This
a
isn't.
And not if the folks don't survive to learn from it.
This isn't testing resolve. This is keeping you underfoot. This is keeping you from asking questions.
all right.
Okay.
She is having at this point, between the evidence to support your argument and the argument itself, seems to be having
Crisis of
some.
faith.
Say again.
A crisis of faith.
Exactly.
The seed is planted. We have given her the problem of evil, aka baby's first atheism. Or I guess in this case,
Vexoria prevails.
mesotheism.
Vexoria protects.
I'm not sure what the term would be in this case.
I think mesotheism, but I'm not familiar with the particulars.
Perhaps. So yeah, that being said, you leave them now that they're momentarily safe on the roof of this building. With the water approaching, the rate of flooding is slowing but still progressing, and it's probably about a third of the way up the second floor of buildings at this point. But you continue your parkour, for lack of a better word, or in this case, parkour. Thank you. As you head over to the temple, as you get to the temple, there's a few things that are readily apparent. You do see that there are about half a dozen guards standing watch. Just typical. They more or less fulfill the role of city watch, but it is the personal guards of some of the squabbling oligarchs that keep the city under their boot. They are forming a standing across the entrance to the temple, and from within the temple, you are seeing violent flashes of red light.
What is going on in the temple? Why is it not opened to shelter those in need?
Who were you asking that?
One of the guards. And I am going to invoke my revenant power. I can be anybody to
Okay.
make myself seem like a fellow guardsman.
Excellent. So,
Okay, and I feel like this I might be able to invoke my epithet of the Sharp as well for this case.
A clever move, so sharp makes sense.
Alrighty, okay. So that would be +2 modifier, and roll them bones. My goodness.
The bones are being... Oh, that is a burning success. So the fun thing with burning success is in this... so with this game, if you get if you get too good of a success, oftentimes it backfires. And this is a case where if you chose to do so, you could use an influence to bring that down to a glowing success. But with the burning success where I can be anybody, you're not impersonating a guard. You are... It feels wrong, but you are the guard.
Ugh, gross.
But you take that persona on, and the guard that you're asking, who is willing to answer because you're one of them, kind of not raises his spear, but straightens the spear up as he more or less snaps to attention and says, Lord Kashad has ordered that nobody be allowed to enter the temple. He is not to be disturbed.
Does he not see what's going on outside?
Wait, Kashad's in there? Can I do a figure out?
Sure. What are you trying to figure out?
Does this have something to do with the amulet that Kashad took from us?
Go ahead and roll it.
Most likely.
I need to invoke an epithet. Let's see. I'm not sure.
The instincts, perhaps?
Yeah. It might be who sheds no tears for dead or past. So, which is a +0. So, let's see. So with my +0.
All right. And hold on, I was looking at the sheet. So that is, if that is not influence, that will not succeed, unfortunately. So a 7 on figure out.
I think we could let this one go without spending a resource.
Okay.
I think I have an idea. Of what we could do. I do have a question for the GM. For one of my spells and elements, it says I can spend a heart from somebody to change the temper, or to change the temper of a targeted individual for it. Delighting, sobering, saddening, or enraging them. Does on a glowing success, that particular spell summons a single element in an area as large as a room. Would that be able to affect all of the guards if I spent a heart to try to manipulate their emotions?
What was the name of the power? Elements.
First?
Elements.
Summon winds, earthquakes, thunderwave, reeds, or trees, metal storms. Some flames. If you spend a heart from someone, the spell can instead change their temper.
Could we play out my miss first?
Oh,
it
yeah.
says on a miss, I should ask the question, but I reveal more than I wanted about myself.
So I will say, go ahead and ask yourself the question, and we will reveal that it will be the guard who learns something about you.
I think I know how this is going to go. I'm going to be like, does this have something to do with my amulet? Instead of saying the amulet.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, buddy,
Uh-oh.
buddy.
That's not good.
Thank you for asking the possibly worst possible question.
That's a fail.
If this was a game where I could give you goodie tokens, you would get one.
Hey, I get XP out of it and a fun role-playing experience.
Excellent. You know what? That's what matters. So yeah, the guards, you have all of their attention at this point, along with Inaris, who is currently a guard. And the one who's been doing most of the talking says, "Leave immediately."
Is a burning success enough to get me like guard captain-y energy, or at the very least lieutenant?
You know what? You were, if that's what you were trying to appear to be, yes.
Lord Kashad has specifically requested that I bring these outsiders to the inner sanctum. Let us pass, lest you defy his orders.
He seems to think for a minute and says, well, we were told to allow nobody. I'll wait here. And he turns and heads inside the temple.
How many guards are there now?
5.
We can take them. We got sorcery. We got ghosts.
One of them is going back into the temple to go, I guess, check on our alibi here, and there's just 4 or 5 guards there remaining.
Yes.
I believe so.
Okay. I want to step forward, and I'm going to raise my hands to the sky and kind of gesture at, like, the torrential downpour and saying, look above you. Look at the rain falling from the sky. The flood continues to rise and rise. Do you think that it is going to stop when it reaches this area here? No. Your lives have been lost. Tapestry has collapsed. It is in your best interest to flee while you still can. And I want to try to invoke the element spell to make them sad and disparaged enough to just leave.
I love it.
Go home, be with your families. Be with your families, man.
Yes, why are you here?
What epithet will you be invoking?
I will be invoking my +2 epithet, he who fractures reality with words.
That tracks. So go ahead and roll 4 dice.
Alrighty.
So, for those watching, the sorcerer has a different way that their moves work. Basically, they roll, instead of rolling 2 dice for the moves like everybody else. Oh, it doesn't. I don't actually see what they rolled. Because I was on another. Oh, never mind, I got it now. So, so when a sorcerer uses their power, they roll a number of dice based on the epithet they invoked, plus 2. So in this case, it was a +2 epithet, so 4 dice are rolled. And then they will look at their... Well, it's not added up. It goes by the individual values of what's rolled. And each of the spells that they can do have a different requirement for them to cast that spell. They did not... Kel did not roll Snake Eyes, so they don't get Chaos. And you're wanting to do Elements, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Alright, so, and the requirement for Elements is you have to have 3 dice add to 12 or higher, which is achieved. And to determine if it is a glowing success or a burning success, you have to see if 2 of them add up to either of those ranges, and we have 11, so this will count as a burning success. A burning success with elements. So, your effort to reshape reality to terrify these people away might be you summon a single element which will rage and escape your control unless you mark fire.
Okay, I gotcha. I kind of wanted to like make the rainstorm more intense around them, like maybe have like a rain cloud manifest over them and really start to lay down the downpour. Maybe it just like where hailstones would start to fall and just start to get out of hand. I'll mark fire to keep a hold of it.
So you say the words, and a palpable energy can be felt emanating from. A palpable energy can be felt emanating from Gester's body as they say these words, and their eyes light up, their hair flies into the wind more so than it was before, because storms are typically windy. And the storm specifically intensifies over these guards, and after a few moments of being pelted with hail, they drop their spears and they take off, not into the temple, but they take off away from the temple, looking for high ground, looking for safety for themselves.
Good. Be with your families, guards. Be with your families.
About this time, the guard that left, first you hear a massive it sounds like another bolt of thunder, except instead of coming from the sky, it is coming from within the temple. And a moment afterward, the guard who went in to confirm your story with his boss comes out,
Take him.
bleeding profusely, grasping the wound in his
geez.
side, and he collapses on the ground in front of you.
Let's, what would be a good action? I guess finesse to try and staunch the wound. This guy doesn't deserve to be shanked for our gambit.
When you get down to examine the fallen guard, it quickly becomes apparent that no amount of bandaging is going to help this man. He has gone too far.
Oh, jeez.
Can I?
My friend does
can I
not
roll
wish
a,
to be disturbed.
Can I roll one of my epithets? Because I have an idea.
Okay. Are you
can
doing
I
one of
roll-
your book moves, or?
No, do I have to? Yes, actually. I'm going to invoke promise,
Okay.
but first I have to wound myself, so I'm going to pull out my cat of nine tails and self-flagellate.
Saucy.
Hey, so
And
real quick, what is happening here is the vessel, in order for them to move, to do any of the book moves, they can only invoke an epithet that has been wounded. Normally, if an epithet is wounded, they have a -1 to that epithet. If the same epithet becomes wounded again, that character is considered defeated. Which until they heal, they are not able to take any moves. The move in question is promise. You said.
promise, I'm going to call upon my patron's protection.
Okay. Go ahead. Well, also, with the so they are required to use a wounded epithet. They have the option to cause themselves a wound when they use the power, and playbook moves are not penalized by wounded epithets. So, well, if they do, if Desir does any move from the playbook that invokes the epithet, there's no penalty. If they do a common move with that epithet, they will be penalized. That being said, let's go ahead and roll those dice.
I will say, instead of promise, because I'm looking at this again, promise would be to more if we are in immediate danger, so I'm going to change that to respite,
Okay.
which is basically calling upon my patron to soothe those in the surrounding area.
Okay.
So I'm going to, again, wound myself, and the epithet that I am choosing to wound is who does what their patron commands. And I
Okay.
will say that Vexoria is commanding me to make this guard's last moments something, make him at peace in his final moments, so he is not, dying and afraid.
Okay.
So that's
Go ahead and give us that
2d6.
respite roll.
So that is going to be 2d6 plus 1.
You're not penalizing it, right?
Not penalized yet, because that was a wound.
Okay. Alright, go ahead and roll it. 7. Does anybody want to influence that?
Yeah, I think I'll influence that.
Alright, so what Psst is doing is spending one of their hearts to influence this roll, because a 7 is a miss, which would wound Desir. But bumping it up to an 8 makes it a glowing success. So, as you are supported by your friend, Psst, you put your hands in a position that you typically use to pray. One hand is in the praying position, the other hand is whipping yourself in the back with the cat of nine tails that is a symbol of your god, or goddess, excuse me. Whispering where none can hear you except your patron for a few moments, and everybody around who's surrounded around you, despite the torrential downpour and the rain, they just feel this feeling of peace and warmth overcome them. You can actually unmark that wound, Desir. The wounded man at your feet, who is his breathing rapid, his fading fast. He looks up, not at you, but just past you for just a moment, and a smile spreads across his face before his death closes his eyes.
Vexoria protects my friend.
What would you like to do?
I think we should get inside that temple.
We need to bring this Kashad to task.
Yes, before we do that, you said the guards dropped some spears, right?
Yes, they
good job.
pretty much standard equipment they carry. They all have spears, helmets, very basic
Yoink.
gear. And
So
in
I would like
their...
to walk.
What's that?
I would like to walk over to one of the spears and invoke one of my epithets, he who hates lies and half-truths, and compel the object to reveal its truth to me and cause it to come to life and aid me. I'm going to cast Animate on it.
Okay.
Oh, that's sick.
Hopefully we'll cast the right spell. And you're doing...
Fingers crossed.
Which, and is that your +1 or +2 epithet?
It is a +1 epithet.
Okay. Roll them bones.
Gotcha, I'm ready for it.
Alright.
So it says to
Wow.
roll 3 dice in sequence.
Okay, so that is a little bit harder to... of a...
well, you can take the sequence from the log. It says 1, 5, 6.
1 second. So your goal is to animate.
Yes.
So yeah, you'd have to be like 3 numbers in a row, which unfortunately you do not have.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a hard one to pull off.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That is tricky.
Now, really quick, what other spells do you know?
I have Animate, Phantasm, and Elements.
Okay, Phantasm. Phantasm is one you can do. I don't know if it'll help, but it's one you can do, which is taking
Okay.
belief about the world and make it manifest briefly, fooling mortal senses. What was that? And Elements? Elements, you can just barely do that one. You also have the base power of scrying that you can do, which discern into a silver mirror the truth about a person, place, or thing, near or far, and you would have a burning success on that one.
Maybe we could see a bit about what was happening with Kashad that preceded all this. Maybe.
Yeah, that's true that we could. Would I make another roll for scrying in that case?
No, you already rolled what you need for it, so you
Okay.
would just select that spell.
Okay, I'll invoke scrying then.
Alright, so as mentioned, burning success. You ask me one question, and I will answer honestly and in detail.
Okay, what was Kashad's intentions in causing this storm to manifest? What is his end goal?
So, you ask that question, and the answer that comes back is that the storm was not his goal. Something has gone wrong in... he was attempting to gain favor, and it did not work.
Trying to cheat his way into more power. Typical Kashad.
Classic
Come on,
Kashad.
Kashad, you rube, you daft fool.
Now, the other part of this, since it was a burning success, also you ask the question, what do you reveal about yourself, and how is it a problem?
Oh, I would say that, based on that, initially, the Gister thought that this storm was a consequence of Tapestra's was kind of proof to him that Tapestra wasn't all that was, wasn't like that god of law and governance, and everything had started to fall apart at the seams, if you will, of their true nature. But it seems as though Kashad just messed up, and it's not necessarily proof that Tapestra is an illegitimate god, like he may have interpreted initially.
So I'm actually going to give you a little vision here with that, because it is scrying. You do your chanting and you produce a silver mirror from your pocket, and you make some arcane gestures over it. And this is the scene you see. Kashad, in the finery of a priest of Tapestra, is standing before the statue of Tapestra, and you see his mouth moving as though he was chanting, but you do not hear what's being said. After a few moments, the visage of Tapestra emerges from the statue and turns her attention to Kashad and holds her hand out. About this time, you see the guard that you sent in running into the room. Well, he wasn't running at this point. You see him approaching Kashad. Kashad takes no notice of him. But he reaches into a bag and he pulls out your amulet. And he places it in both hands and holds it aloft towards the glowing visage of Tapestra before him. And her face immediately goes from one of favor to one of pure rage. She unleashes a lightning blast from her hands that is raking or directs it at Kashad, hits him with it, and it branches out after hitting him and strikes the guard that was going in to assist.
Oh, that guard didn't do anything to you, Tapestra.
The casualty of being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Kashad, with the amulet clutched in his hands, holds his hand to the wound caused by the lightning bolt, and he leaves the area of the vision. As he does so, another more heavily armed individual steps in, as well as a few of the Royal Guard similar to what you saw outside. At this point, the storm is starting to subside. Actually, I'm going to retcon that a little bit. You do not see the guard come in. You see him do that, wounded, and then leaves, and then the guards sort of form a little formation or form a protective ring around something that you cannot see. But Kashad has left the area of the vision, and but about this time, it does seem like the storm is letting up.
Thank goodness for that, at least.
No more innocent lives will be lost today, God willing.
Why would such a god lash out like that? If they're not afraid of something being revealed from that amulet.
If they were afraid of its power, though, Tapestra surely would have claimed it. She would have been pleased that she was offered such an item of power, thus that she could dispose of it, or at least contain it.
Unless that power is specifically made to eliminate a god or two.
Specifically antithetical to her nature, so much that she can't even handle it via proxies.
And so she did lash out like a child, ending the lives of others.
That's just gods, man. That's just gods.
You know what god would never do this? Vexoria. May she be praised.
We'll see. We'll see. Long enough timeline, I don't know.
Why worry about your faith in Vexoria? It's only a matter of time until she lets you down. Or until a facet of her nature is revealed.
Her nature will be revealed to you in time, my friend. Perhaps if you sit down and speak with me long enough, we will be able to go in more detail why all gods inevitably fail men.
As because they're inherently separate from us.
She had
Never
saved
mind
me
that,
once
let
as a
us-
child. She had saved me once as a child, and she saves me to this day. I have
Fair
no
enough.
reason to fear, nor reason to mistrust.
Yeah, no, she's been serving you well. No reason not to until she stops. Just
Faith is
enough.
admirable, if not misguided. However, we should find Kashad and make sure that he is
Into the sanctum.
on the property.
Into the sanctum.
Onward.
All right. So you head into the sanctum. As you do, you see most of the people that you previously saw before, the more heavily armed guard, who appears to be somebody of rank. The gear he holds and is adorned with. He's like wearing proper armor, carrying.
What are your orders, sir?
How long does that last, I wonder?
At a burning success, you get caught up in the person, even though it doesn't feel right. You have difficulty separating yourself from the role, and your friends may not believe it's you. Give one's heart to someone your new role would care about. You remain this persona until you mark fire, or
Okay.
a friend spends a heart to pull you out of it.
Okay. So, and we haven't done that yet, so yeah, you're still a guard. And he looks down at you and says, I do not answer to you.
No, I'm asking what are your orders for me, sir?
Oh, misunderstood.
You know, I know my rank. I'm a lieutenant.
He looks from you to your companions and says, stop the intruders into the Temple of Tapestry. And he draws his sword.
Oh boy.
I will take a fire now at this point to drop the persona.
Okay.
Tussling time.
Alrighty.
Just
No,
in time.
So I think Psst is going to trust their instincts and attempt to maul the super guard.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and give me your roll on that, and we will see how that goes.
Does anybody want to help me out with a heart or two here?
Yeah.
I'll give you a heart.
Yeah, it'll take 2 to turn that into a success.
Okay, I will give
I'll
one.
give up one of mine.
Okay.
Pitts,
okay.
Pitts has been a good
He
warrior.
has been a loyal friend.
And you were doing Maul.
Maul, which says on a glowing success you inflict one wound and take wounds as directed. Choose one. And I think what I will do is I will roar as I go up and, start mauling this guard crazily, which means that the enemy knows fear and my friends get a +1 to their fighting moves against them.
Alright, so yeah, you just jump right on this guy, and he starts staggering backward under the weight of this creature a human-like creature that is now just scratching and biting at any exposed flesh that he can find. And you roar out as your feline guardians would, and you see that this is so far out of anything that they've ever been trained to deal with that it has definitely taken them off guard. However, he does flail around with a sword and slices you across the back with it. So you're going to take 1 wound, and you're just going to mark one of your epithets as wounded.
I have.
Alrighty.
Okay. So I have a quick question about about getting wounds.
Yes.
Now, are you defeated if you get 2 wounds in general, or if you get the same epithet wounded twice?
If one epithet is wounded a second time, then you are defeated. Not necessarily dead.
Okay. Okay.
Eh,
So you
cool,
can
cool.
take up to 3 wounds and not be defeated, right? Because you
Correct.
each have 3 epithets.
That is correct. And it is possible in a campaign type game to get up to 5 epithets and eventually doom moves, but those are not. That is not something that is going to be addressed in this particular session, unless something really crazy happens. Alrighty. So there's no real, with Powered by the Apocalypse, there's no real initiative. I do want to give everybody a chance to act here. Chris, what would Desir like to do?
How grouped together are these guards? Like, are they spread out or?
They're not quite shoulder to shoulder. They're in a formation with their spears ready, spread out just enough to where they're not going to hit each other in the face with the non-stabby end.
Okay, so I am going to cast the playbook move Fury,
Excellent.
and the wound that I'm going, the epitaph that I'm going to wound is he who submits only to whom they choose. So I'm going to get in another praying position and start flagellating.
Yep.
And Fury is I invoke my patron's wrath. So that would be 2d6 plus 2.
And an additional +1 because of the Wolfling's move. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is a glowing success. With
Okay, I apologize because I think he might get caught into this. On a glowing success, one of your patron's domains erupts from your body in the direction you're facing. Everyone in your path marks 1 wound. If an enemy can reach you, take wounds as directed.
So I think you're not going to take a wound with this because you are doing it at range. Unfortunately, we'll take a wound from this, but you do
apologize.
It does also wound the individual who appears to be in charge, and one of the guards with him goes down.
Curiosity for the heart mechanic. I just want to earn hearts back between players.
So there's a few ways.
Move.
Say again?
The entice move.
Yes.
Oh my.
You gotta flirt.
That's not the only way. I mean, entice, yes, but
God.
entice does not have to be flirting.
Wonderful. That would be very awkward for me.
Yeah, no, I've seen you try. It's no, I'm kidding. I actually haven't.
Yeah.
When you for entice, you invoke an epithet and roll. If you glow and succeed, you get 1 plus 1 heart, and there's options. Burning success, you gain 1 heart, and they choose a result as well.
Okay, just looking over the language again, and it seems very flirt-oriented.
It is kind of flirt-oriented, yes.
I think I might actually be trying to entice as I do this.
Okay.
I would be looking at, because I just did this kind of feral thing of jumping up on this head guard, and I'm like,
It's pretty hot.
"Here, come on, get him!"
Oh, also, when you admire someone or fall for them a little bit, you can just choose to give somebody a +1 heart. So, like, if you,
Huh? I think the piss should have a heart just from the fish incident from my end for that then.
there you go. So yeah, go ahead.
That's some damn good fishing.
So I feel like this is a trusting my instincts, trying to entice Gister to join in the attack.
Okay.
Oh yes.
So that's not one of my wounded ones, so I still have a +1 on that.
Excellent.
Success.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A glowing success. The best kind of success. They gain, or you gain 1 heart from them. And, oh my. I see what you're talking about, Maria. So they choose one: betray a world force for your sake, get flustered and off balance, or give in to their desire.
Well, is the desire in this case to attack?
It could very well be. That tracks. He does.
Yeah, I'm game for it.
He does very much want to find and have a little conversation with Mr. Kashad.
So who's had turns in the combat thus far?
Let's see. Have you?
I have not.
So, Inara and Gister still have turns to take.
Unless you, do you have anything in particular that would benefit from going first, or am I good to go?
It's up to you. You weren't asking.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I do plan on trying to light everybody on fire, so if you're going to throw yourself in the fray, I wouldn't suggest
Yeah, no,
going
I'm
in
ranged.
barbecue.
I'm ranged, so it should be good.
Oh, poor
Okay.
Ease him. He
Okay.
might get a little done around the edges.
I would like to invoke my breath of the tombs, not tomes, tombs.
Death breath.
Fighting move. Correct. And, I think I can invoke my epithet of the sharp, because this feels fairly hostile.
Okay.
See, so that would be 2 dice with a +2 for my the sharp epithet. Don't succeed too hard,
Just the right amount of succeed.
The perfect amount of
Okay,
success.
perfect.
So-
Perfect.
Right.
It's more or less like the scene in The Mummy. She leans forward, she opens her jaw wide, and just this unholy smoke spews forth from her mouth. You're going after the big guy, right?
Yes.
Right. This unholy smoke pours out of her mouth and flies directly against anything that would affect it, directly at the leader of the guards here. It wraps around his head and more or less forms a shell around him before it eventually disappears as it forces its way into his lungs. He throws his sword to the ground and clutches at his throat as he struggles to breathe, and then drops to his knees, and then drops face first onto the ground.
Oh gosh, I suppose it's a bit late to accept a surrender.
That
Do
would
I
appear
have
to
to
be the
make
case.
a finesse move to jump off the guard and not get held under him?
Yeah. It could be finesse or it could be bolt.
Yeah, let's try bolt.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to. When I see this coming, I'm gonna try to run away, bravely run away.
Strategic retreat, if you will.
Going to
See
trust
who
my
fights and
instinct.
runs away, lives to fight another day.
Tactical withdrawal.
Almost made it. Anybody want to help me out here?
I spent mine on you, I'm sorry.
No, I'll spend the one that you handed over to me. I'll help out my homemade psst here.
All right. So that bumps us up to a glowing success for. I love saying your name, just so you know. Yeah.
It's fun.
You turn and you see that Gesher is beginning his arcane hand gestures and everything that he uses, that he does before he does the weird things he is known for. And this is as the guard is struggling with the smoky cocoon on his face, and you just kind of plant your feet against the side and kick off of him and get clear of the guards before Gesher unleashes whatever he has, or whatever the fates have in mind.
Out of curiosity, is there a point to invoking one of the epithets with a 0 bonus?
Again, it just might be the more appropriate one to the task at hand. But other than that, It's just kind of their
It's our health bar.
yeah,
Okay.
and it can be raised later on.
Alrighty.
Good deal. I think we're ready for Gister's big blast here.
All right, roll.
So who else
them
left on
bones.
the battlefield? Is there just a handful of?
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 of the City Watch milling. Well, not milling about. They are in combat with their spears ready. That looking around frantically from you to the fallen body of their commander on the ground.
We might be able to make him surrender.
Oh no! Enticed Gister to fight, so he's
No.
going to be overcome with the excitement and the rush of the engagement, and maybe a little bit of getting caught up in the moment, maybe a little bloodlust there. He is going to invoke his epithet, "He who fractures reality with words," and he is going to reach out and command all of their clothes to burst into flames using the Elements spell.
Okay, let's see if that's a spell that happens. Don't
So
roll yet.
what has to happen to roll the elements?
Okay, so for the element spell, let me get to your playbook here. So for elements, 3 dice have to add up to 12 or higher.
Okay, so if I give additional
Yes.
like hearts, they get additional dice that they can put into the mix, right?
Well, okay.
But I can do that after.
It's not specific on that, but I'm going to say that you can adjust any of the dice up or down.
Okay.
So in case, like if they got a 3, 5, and a 6, and they're trying to go for the 3 consecutive power, you could change that 3 to a 4.
Okay.
All right, roll the bones.
Alrighty, good deal. Okay, 1 second here. There we go. Oh, whoops! I rolled the wrong one there. My apologies.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, my
Hit a couple of
stars.
buttons incorrectly.
Look at all
later,
them.
that.
Look at all them dice.
Okay, so one of those 2s. Roll it again with
Alrighty,
the right dice. I'm not going to
Yes,
try to
yeah.
suss out what's what there.
Oh, I don't blame you. Yes, here's the 3. Oh no!
No.
And what did you need?
They have to add up to 12 or higher. However,
Oh, right.
hold
I
on.
can give you 3 hearts.
Before you do that,
Ken?
you do have a 2, 3, 4.
Oh, I do. Oh, I can animate something. Oh, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, what are the weapons that are on the ground? What did the guard captain drop?
So the there's a few spears laying on the ground, and the guard captain dropped. I don't know enough about Mesopotamian weapons to say for sure, but he drops like a official looking, a very well made sword.
So
Like a scimitar?
can you animate like corpses?
It does say one object up to your size,
That's true. Corpses are objects. So
and
No.
for this,
Necromancer, let's go.
for the purpose of this, I'm going to say yes. You can animate his dead body.
oh, that sounds awesome. Okay, I'm
Oh
going
yeah.
to. I'm gonna think for a moment. I'm gonna light their clothes on fire, but then I look over to the guard captain and say, that's a real spicy body there. It'd be really awesome to be able to animate that to help us out." I direct my flames to consume the body of the guard captain, animating him, and he has a motion and awareness to one object up to your size. And on a glowing success, it is basically good-natured. It lives until destroyed, after taking 1 to 3 wounds, depending on its size and construction.
Yep.
So it's good-natured. It's gonna like us.
It pretty much follows your commands, and it's like typical an obedient zombie. The remainder of the guards in the room see that you have made a corpse come back to life, and they have decided they are not being paid enough for this, and they would rather deal
You're
with the
not.
rain than the walking corpses.
Yeah, you're really not paid enough for this, buddy.
You know, if I had to deal between a zombie and a little bit of rain, I think I would also take a little bit of rain.
Yep, no, that
That's
is
true.
the correct choice in that situation. Alrighty. How so? How do people feel about taking a quick break at this point, or do you want to power through?
I would like a quick break, actually, if that's okay.
All right.
Sounds
10 minutes sound good for everybody?
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds fabulous.
All right. Yep. Be back at 6:56.
Gotcha.
Thank you for jumping in on the stream.
And
Welcome back.
okay, I found a taller item with which to prop the phone on.
Excellent.
It is interesting though, because like, what I'm seeing on what the live stream is ending up looking like is it's a lot reduced from what the Discord phone view gives for what's being displayed from us.
Indeed.
But more competitive.
I found the soundtrack to this game.
Oh.
The B-52's Mesopotamia.
There you go. You're just waiting on Chris now.
We still got a minute.
Yeah, but we
I'm
should
gonna
all
take
be
this bagel.
all be very judgmental when he gets back.
Of course. Oh yeah, do you guys want to see one of my cats?
Oh, of course we want to see your cats.
Here we go. This is Elsa.
Oh my god, she's so fluffy.
She is. She's a little
Oh my
fluffy
stars!
monster.
Look at the fluffy.
She looks so soft.
She is. She's a big baby.
Wolfie,
She's
we found
taller
somebody
than-
fluffier than you.
The handling quite well.
Oh, look at the cat.
I want to pinch her little cheekies.
Oh, look at the cat. Oh, he's so cute.
We have another one. We have Anna. Oh, I see her.
Excellent
I got her.
names.
Come here. Come here, Goober. Come here. Yes. I know you like
Oh.
to talk. I know.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, she's a chatterbox. Oh,
Yes.
she's a chatterbox.
Yes.
She is
Cat,
gorgeous.
you saying hi to everybody?
Oh my goodness. Hi.
This one's my little buddy. The other one's my wife's little kiddo. Yeah.
Like
Aw,
you, saw,
that's
you saw a little bit of him earlier. Let's see if I can get this big goober on camera for everybody.
Yes. We have to exchange cats.
This is
I
Wolfie.
know, honey.
She has so much to say. Oh my god.
Mhm.
He is adorable and sweet and an absolute himbo.
Yes, I'm here for him.
Oh, and he does not want to be
All of,
snuggled.
During our break,
all of the cats in my place do not like being picked up, so unfortunately I cannot show them. Oh, excuse me, off to the camera.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Which means I have to try to pick them up every time I'm there.
I mean, you know, Betty, you know what happens when you try to mess with Stovetop and he gets you. That's
That's my
given
buddy.
you-
He's a good boy.
You got to get him
He's a little-
naturalized to it.
He's a little dickhead. You know, you know it.
He is my buddy.
during the break, my cat tried to tell me that I should go sit down on the sofa. Needless to say, if I had taken her directive, I think I would be absent for the remainder of the live stream.
You would not be getting up in under any circumstances.
You know, when a cat chooses to lay on you, you just got to accept, you know, what they've laid out for you. You just got to go with it, you know.
I did
I'm
try
really
to
glad-
entice her. I brought the cuddle blankie, and I have set up little steps because she's got some osteoarthritis.
Aw.
This
Aw.
could really backfire because
Poor
she
baby.
may just decide to walk on my keyboard and mouse instead. But
I'm really thankful that the camera only shows the upper half of my body, because for the last couple combat encounters, I've just been leaning down and petting the cats as they walk by in the kitchen. So like, just like, hey kitty.
The problem with Wolfie is he's heavy enough that he just actually pins you in place. It's not just a thing of like, oh, I don't want to get up, I have a cat. It's like, no, he is crushing the life out of me because he weighs
He's like the
16
immovable
pounds.
stone.
Yeah, the
Indeed.
immovable object. Excuse me.
Alright.
Okay.
Alrighty. So I believe Maria and Chris swapped places.
Yeah, so I thought that I had turned off my camera, but turns out I just accidentally left the activity.
Oh, well. Oh,
So-
yeah. So,
Yeah. Sorry.
no worries at all. I think we might have to reassign names on here, but I remember how to do it.
Let me. You want me to roll really quick?
Oh, hey,
and
no,
see,
no, they're still up here.
Okay, six.
Good deal.
Cool. Nice.
Okay, so you're now in the upper chamber of the Temple of Inara. Not Inara, you're Inara. In the temple.
Oh, they made a temple for me. How gracious.
You have faith.
Oh my
Return
god,
to
this whole
table.
time.
So-
Plot twist. Yep, she's the god that you're here to defy. No, so you're
Do it. Try
You're-
me.
You're in the upper chamber of the temple to Tapestra. There, are a couple of there's one dead guard laying on the ground. The rest have scattered, but one is he's dead, but he's not laying there. In addition,
He's now our meat shield.
He's
Yeah.
been conscripted into service.
It is mere
he-
puppetry.
he's
His
been
soul has
conscripted.
left his body.
I mean, even if we don't get the amulet, he probably has a few items we could probably sell for food money. So not a loss at all.
The statue to Tapestro, while appearing inert as statues should, you kind of if you get within a few feet of it, you feel a heat radiating from it, and it's not like a comforting, comfortable heat. It is like standing next to a building on fire.
It is a blistering heat.
It's a grumpy statue.
From a few feet in front of the statue, there is a trail of blood that leads off to a statue, a smaller statue built into one of the walls of the temple, and the blood just stops right at the feet of said statue.
Secret door.
It's not a forbidding omen at all.
Secret door.
Would you say that this is a quiet, intimate moment?
I think so. You have a few moments to catch your breath before you plunge headlong into whatever comes next.
Oh. So as we're doing this, Psst is like, hey, oh, come this way, and starts like running around. Does anybody come run around with Psst?
I'll come run around. I'll come run around.
Yeah, piss,
I got
good
the
instincts.
zoomies. I got the
Exactly.
zoomies.
I'll
And you
engage
got the
in some
zoomies, and
Absolutely.
you've got good instincts.
What is it, boy? What is it?
Okay.
Old man Jenkins fell down the well again?
I was going to say Kashad fell down a well, so just leave him.
Will you give the wilds +1 heart?
Just the concept of the wilds.
Is that like a thing we have to decide, or if you it's the GM?
That is something you decide, and that is something that if you were in the wilds later on, could be used for
You know
amusing
what?
means.
Yeah, fine, hang on.
I will give the wilds a heart because I trust Psst. He wouldn't steer me wrong.
Indeed.
Okay. Well, you get +1 heart.
Nice.
From-
Let me
uh,
mark
You
that.
gave kind of just goes right back.
Yeah, let me mark that.
And if anyone else is wounded, they also lose their wounds.
Nice.
Nice.
And I
I
lost
feel bad
all
for
my-
your wounds, though. You have a few.
Yeah, this clears my wounds also.
Yeah,
Excellent.
poor lad got
Perfect.
scorched earlier.
Well, you didn't quite get scorched, but you did get stabbed.
Oh, yeah,
And
he did
whipped.
get stabbed, that's right, and whipped.
And whipped.
Not a fun day for poor Psst.
Yeah. Well, not so much whipped, but
I mean,
lashed by the
he
wrath
cuts.
of...
He caught so many fish, though. That's at least a neutral day.
He did catch many fish. So, describe... Yeah, so what's everybody doing? So, for this moment of relative peace, the calm in the middle of the storm.
Looks like
check.
we all had the zoomies, didn't we?
Let's just describe this. Let's just play out this scene. Is just zooming around, like kind of literally bouncing off walls, just being a big old goober. Yeah.
Well, I decided to join him, so I'm not bouncing off the walls, but I'm like touching like the statues as I'm like running in between them, I guess.
Yeah, doing a lot of poking around. Figure it's a good opportunity to both do the zoomies and also canvas for secret levers and such.
Okay.
Yes.
That'd be an excellent idea.
So, with a little bit of
It's very wise in these ways.
you do a bit of examination of the area where the trail of blood ends, and next to the statue there are two decorative pillars, and you see a bloody handprint smeared on one of them, and when you twist that pillar, the statue recesses into the wall and shifts to the side.
Classic.
Oh, excuse me.
I did
Oh,
not.
before we proceed, can I turn to our little, like, our totally not a zombie animated corpse friend? And because he's supposed to be aware
He
and sentient.
he doesn't have
that
memory of who he was before, but he is. I don't know if he can actually talk, but he is sentient.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't know if he retained any memories from his past. I wouldn't think so, but I figured I'd be like, hey, you remember this? Probably just like shrug, be like, I pat him on the head, ruffle his hair, and say, you're doing a great job.
I feel like I should do an entice move with Desir because they gave a heart to the wilds.
Okay.
It's like, that was pretty cool that you went wild like that and bounced off the walls with me.
Of course, we're friends. What else are friends for?
That's right. And I feel like this is a trust my instincts roll.
Okay.
So
That is
That looks
burning
like a-
success.
burning success.
I'm burning.
I got it over my head. I gain 1 heart from you.
60.
Wait, so
Burning down
is
the
there
hall.
any downside to that?
I'm looking it up now. So entice, where is entice? Okay, entice on a burning success. You gain 1 heart from them, and they choose one from both lists. Either the get flustered and off balance, betray a rolled force for your sake, or give into desire. And you also choose between you fall for them, they gain 1 heart from you too, or you both mark fire.
Can I say by giving in my desires that was me doing the zoomies?
Sure. And what will you choose from the second list?
Hmm.
And fall for them does not necessarily mean you in a romantic or sexual way.
Can I like reach out and like, you know, give like like a scratch behind the ears or something?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
You're give him the ear scratch.
And that will give them.
give them little ear scratches.
That will give.
gives-
They gain 1 heart from you. No, wait. You gain 1 heart from. You each get a heart from each other.
Cool. So you know what? I'm gonna mark that up to 3 hearts for because that's what it's currently at.
Hey, you guys are friendos. Now, here's a neat thing. When you get to 4 hearts, you get a special insight to them, something even they don't know. Ask their player what it is, and then you offer them a new epithet to reflect it. They write the new epithet in a blank slot, and it is at +0.
Nice.
That's
Pretty
something I
fun.
didn't go over because I did not expect anyone to get to 4 hearts.
A new epithet could be a really useful thing. That's 1 more wound you can take.
Yeah.
That is.
Pretty
that-
helpful.
Yeah.
That's one more reason to self-flagellate. Yeah.
Well, that would be you getting another epithet. Psst.
Yeah, but I mean, we both got an extra heart here.
Oh, are
Yeah.
you both at 3 hearts?
Yeah.
I'm at 2, but Gister
I'm at
has
3.
3.
Okay, so yeah, that might come up. All right, so the statue that slid to the side leads into a dark, twisting path that spirals downward towards the base of the temple, lit with torches that have been recently tended to, enough to avoid it from being enough to keep it from being plunged into utter darkness, but not enough to eliminate the shadows between the illuminated areas.
There we go.
As you proceed,
Yeah, downwards.
as you proceed downward, it's hard to tell how far you've descended, but as you pass by one of the torches after some time of your descent, you are seeing. Let me just double check here. You're starting to see markings in the walls that form words that you cannot read, and then either shift to other words or fade from sight entirely, only to be replaced with other markings. It is a flowing script that you cannot read, but you do recognize as being Atlantean.
Joke's on you. I can't read anyway.
Fair enough.
Maybe one day.
Well,
Maybe one day.
I want to approach the writings, and I want to attempt to cast scrying to see if I could discern their meaning.
Okay.
Ready? Looks like I'll invoke my epithet of "He who hates lies and half-truths reveal the truth to me."
That works.
And I'll see.
It's not so much a lie as a secret, but it works.
Alrighty, and by invoking that epithet, that's a +1 epithet. Do I just roll an extra d6 in that case because I'm a sorcerer?
Yeah, +1, you'll roll 3 dice.
Okay.
And
Alrighty.
1, 4, 4. Let's see what spells you get to choose from. 2 of them equal 8. That gives you scrying.
Yes.
Nice.
Here we go. Good deal.
Alright,
Yeah.
so you don't get... It's not quite a glowing... Oh, it is just a glowing success. So, some of the words that shift as you see fading in and out of existence is Temple of the First Mouth, sealed by storm. The tongue lies still, the oath is broken. We remember the drowning, we remember the hunger.
Hmm.
And these are separate messages that appeared, not one long.
Is there a god of the storms and/or drowning that is currently in the pantheon that we know?
I'm sorry?
Is there a god of the storms and/or floods
Uh,
that is in the pantheon currently?
Tapestry is the god of storms. Among us.
I don't think she was the first one. I think she took that portfolio.
Spicy.
We remember the hunger. We remember the flooding. Interesting.
Can I try to explore? What are others missing here is what I want to know.
Sure, give me a roll.
This will be trust my instinct.
Okay.
So that's at a +1.
That's a burning success.
That's a good one.
Alright, let's see what a burning success does.
Okay, so
It's,
So, I ask 2 above, so what are the others missing here? And what is dangerous here are the 2 from above, and 1 from below.
this was the explore action?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Who gets hurt at my expense is the one below. Sorry.
the first question
Schematic
is,
view.
what are the others missing? The others are missing that you are no longer in the city. You are in the Atlantean ruins beneath the city at this point.
Ooh.
Or on the cusp of entering them. And
So I say that out loud. I'm like, we're in the Atlantean ruins.
and what is dangerous here is skittering things in the dark with twisted limbs and with a visage twisted into a face of pure perpetual agony. Limbs have been extended or twisted, and they seem to have been once human, but no longer.
I changed my mind on the burning success question. How do my actions arouse or intensify the danger here?
You are not welcome.
Okay, and I have to mark a fire for that.
Yep.
I want to defy the gods in a 1 session.
That would, it would be fun if we get to that.
I mean, if we speed run fishing enough, we could get enough burning successes to do the Defy the Gods maneuver.
Hey, what better way to defy the gods than in the test? For it? That'd be pretty neat.
Exactly. What's wrong with that?
All right. Do you continue descending into the dark?
Indeed.
All right. So as you continue down the dark, twisting tunnels and stairs, you're still seeing occasional drops of blood whenever you cross through the light, and you do begin to see the rough stonework or the rough brickwork that is typical of your town's architecture, giving way to the architecture that you're familiar with from the Atlantean ruins, which I have it here somewhere.
Could you refresh me on the Atlantean lore? What in universe is claimed to be the cause of their downfall? Whether it's true or not?
So, I'm looking at it now. So, it said that they used to be beasts who gained speech, and the gods changed them into unrecognizable creatures, and that is what caused the fall.
Yeah, maybe this has a bit of Atlantean in him.
Maybe who does? Psst, okay.
You very well could.
It would be interesting.
Yeah. So and of course, so when you get past the brickwork that is typical of your city, after a certain point, the walls are now made of a unusual metal that is carved with the permanent etchings of symbols similar to what you've seen before, and coming from there, instead of torches, there's now a faint glow coming from some of the grooves that are engraved in the metallic walls. Not enough to see well, but enough to see to guide your steps, but not exactly something you can read by. Occasionally, in the distance, you see flashes of glowing eyes that appear briefly and then fade away.
Very akin to Disney's Atlantis, at least with the glowing indents. Right? This is probably the only time we'll ever be able to rifle through the temple's inner sanctum, and I guess portal to the Atlantean ruins. So make the most of it while we're here. Let's get loot. Let's get knowledge. Yep, loot for food money, knowledge, dark secrets, artifacts. The works.
So as you continue down this hallway, you do feel that it is slowly sloping downward. Well, you're not seeing the trail of blood anymore. As you proceed, you see doors that have been forced. You're more or less following a trail of doors that have been forced open. There are other doors that are sealed into that you can't quite figure out how to open short of brute force. But they, following the trail of the brute force doors, you head deeper and deeper until the sound of skittering, sort of a wet slapping steps, can be heard just out of eyesight down the hallway behind you. And as you proceed deeper, up ahead of you, you are hearing the sound of rushing water.
This sounds pretty... Would you describe this environment as wild, or is it not a wild place?
It is not a wild place. It is it is a building or something.
That's the question, though.
What was that?
So it couldn't hurt to ask that question.
No, it's a fair question. It's definitely not what you'd call a tame place, but by the definition that is inquiring, it is not the wild.
Well, I feel like I've taken a bunch of moves. Does anybody else want to do like an explore or figure out or anything?
Yeah, let's go rifling and rifling.
Okay.
Spells, artifacts, beasties. I mean, yeah, no reason. I mean, unless anyone else has any particular things in mind, I suppose this would be the explore action.
Yeah, I think the Explorer action's a pretty good fit for this.
Okay.
Would we do this as a team move or individual roles?
There's not really a mechanic for doing team moves, so it is something that one of you can do, or as many of you that one can do it, but there is always the risk of consequences.
Okay, I'll start then. On my end, I will invoke my epithet of the sharp. Because, I think you need to be pretty sharp-eyed to see the good loot and identify good loot and or knowledge and faith spells.
Okay. Go ahead and give me your roll.
Perfect. Oh, wait,
Alright.
maybe.
It glows.
Perfect.
So explore. So that lets you ask questions, but you're specifically looking for artifacts.
What is valuable here?
What is valuable here? You do know that there are rumors that there was a library containing ancient knowledge in this temple, and I will say, with a little bit of looking around, you do find, like tucked in a corner, a scroll case made of the similar material to the walls, with markings to match.
And if I know my Atlantis nonsense, it's orichalcum. Yoink. And the Explore Moose says I get to ask 2 questions. My second question is, where's the best way to go from here? This is one of these available questions.
So, you are kind of like on a... you haven't found a lot of branches off, so you're pretty sure the one open route is where he has gone. So, what is currently towards the sound of rushing water, you believe is the way to find Kashad.
Deister, you remain in touch with the sorceress knowledge. What can you make of this? I will hand him the scroll.
Very eagerly, I snatch it from her hands and begin to examine it up and down. Is it similar to a lot of the other scrolls that I have studied in my time as a sorcerer?
I don't think you've gotten a hold of scrolls that had been contemporarily made, that were probably scribed with knowledge found from examining the Atlantean scrolls. This is like finding a first edition of it. It would take a significant amount of study to figure out what it says, but when you feel like you think that when you do finally study it long enough to interpret what it says, it may hold great power for or it might be tax records.
Those are still historically valuable. Just not as much for great power, but maybe food money.
Yes, certainly. Something from Atlantis directly I would not want to sell for food money. I'd sooner starve than let this gather dust in some merchant's shop.
I'm passionate about not starving to death.
Out of character, it could enter the collection of an oligarch. Ooh.
I imagine the entire time you're trying to sell the amulet, you were just like the most grumpy sorcerer ever.
Yes, I was not a happy lad. Let me tell you, I was not happy at all.
All right.
If we translate it, find it's relatively innocuous material, that we plumb the knowledge, see if we could find a good buyer who could make decent use of the knowledge, and then we eat. But also, we got this head guard stuff. We got his shit, his stuff. We could sell that. We're pretty set for food money, but let's see what we could take from here.
I would approve a sale of such a scroll if I'm allowed to teach the individual who buys it how to interpret it correctly and understand it, as though from my perspective.
You could probably find a scholar that could help you with that. So, about this time, you hear some of the wet slapping footsteps from before, but they sound a lot closer this time. When you turn, you see a vaguely humanoid creature, its arms stretched to ungodly lengths, bending in more places than a human arm should bend. It's mainly pulling itself along using those. It has atrophied legs that it, as well, about half the length of a typical human's legs, that it uses for standing, but the locomotion is mostly done with the long twisted arms. a third arm raises from its chest and points at you, and it lets out a shriek at you.
Very
And-
invasion of the body snatchers.
Something like that. And that's the best I could do for the shriek. And you begin hearing Zaraval, Zaraval, Zaraval from the shadows.
Does that word mean anything to us?
You do not speak Atlantean.
Fair enough.
Would Gister know anything about that?
No.
Atlantean tongue is lost to us.
Is the creature wounded? Some invisible wounds on it?
It's hard to tell with its anatomy so twisted from anything resembling human.
He's got 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head.
Yeah, you do not see any visible wounds.
Okay.
But it's hard to tell because with an anatomy so alien. From
Do I know if Kashad has any, like, distinguishing body features like birthmarks, tattoos, anything like that? I'm wondering if this creature could be Kashad transformed into it.
None that you know of. After sitting and looking at this thing for a moment, you see another similarly twisted. It has, instead of arms, it just has 2 pairs of legs. And 2 grown from the shoulder, 2 grown from the, where they should grow from.
Oh, buddy, legs aren't supposed to go there.
His
Poor little lad.
His torso twists 180 degrees over the length of his body, and it walks on all 4 legs. And it says, Namashkatara Soltaresh.
Silly goose. Legs don't go that way.
And I try to entice the quadruped to come over. I'm like, oh, come here. It's okay.
Hello, buddy. Come here.
Oh, wait, actually,
Oh,
it's,
you got 4 legs like I do.
it's able to smell Kashad's blood trail.
Oh, that's a good question.
Would
What
that
would the
be
party do without Piss? You are carrying us, man.
right? Well, you wouldn't have any fish for one.
I do have the smell the truth thing.
Yes.
That does not have that as one of the options.
Let me take a
That's
look at it.
Yeah, I can ask a question. Is this person telling the truth? What does this person intend? Oh, actually, can I smell the truth about these monstrous people? What do they intend? Before I try to entice.
Sure.
Okay, so I
Maybe
feel
we
like
could use the fish to make friends with them.
yeah. I feel like I'm keeping my intentions concealed here because I'm trying to not let them know that I'm kind of afraid of them.
Fair enough.
Can't show
You
here.
gotta keep it cool. You gotta keep it cool.
Like, hey,
Cool, calm and collected.
twisted abomination. What you up to?
You gotta
Hey,
do the finger
buddy.
guns.
You want a fish? You look hungry.
I don't have any fish. You all have the fish.
Aw. Look. This
I gave away all the fish.
Oh, a real one. So it says, hey, abomination buddy. You hungry? You look
So
hungry.
what do these freakish abominations intend?
Oh, did you roll? Oh, yep, that's a glowing success. So you get 1 question. They intend to defend their home from the interlopers. They want your blood. The one you offer the fish to sniffs briefly and recoils. It says, Eshtul Karanim, Eshtul Ka.
Back
Ah.
at you, man.
Wonderful.
It all
That
makes
is
sense
totally
now.
what we want to hear.
You hear more footsteps in the distance behind them. The 2 twisted abominations that you do see are starting to move towards you. Around the corner comes one that has 7 arms and no legs and walks more or less like a wounded spider, his head twisted upside down and face in a sneer of pure rage.
Can I try one more move before we engage in combat?
I have a plan as well.
All right.
I'll let you go first.
Okay. Go ahead.
I want to try my playbook move, Ugly Thing. It says, when you have a chance to interfere with an object or plan made by humans or Atlanteans, invoke an epithet and roll. I'd like to...
What was the name of the move?
I'd like to get in the way of their plan of taking our blood.
Quite fair, quite fair.
Because it seems like that's their plan. I figured
That is a very good plan to get ahead of.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. And I should have a plus. I feel like this is... I'm trusting my instincts, so I have a +1 from that, but I also have a +1 from the Smell the Truth.
Oh, did that give you a +1?
It said, if the answer foretells danger, you roll with a +1 to respond.
Excellent. So yeah, go ahead and do your roll at a +2. Your 8. That is a glowing success.
Says you disable the thing or foil the endeavor to an extent you have control over it in this scene. So I think I just sort of like make a scene and be like, to like try to back them off, you know, respect our personal space.
So
total cat move.
Yeah.
The long-armed one begins crawling towards you, but you do your move, and it is taken aback. Since you disable it, actually, it is taken aback for a moment, and then kind of lunges at you, and you're able to dodge it and put it down on the ground in a way that it does not keep moving. You don't know if it's dead or just knocked out.
I'm kind of like, let's get out of here.
I don't know.
Yes,
How many
idea.
of them could there be?
Your question
I
is
suppose we
immediate-
got
your
I suppose we
question
got the scroll
is
case, yeah.
your question is immediately answered as 3 or 4 more of them round the corner, bodies twisted in different ways that I'm not going to describe all of because I'm running out of ideas. So yeah, and as they come and start approaching you, another one, the one who is currently at the lead, looks to the one that you took down. O Larsheth Nome, O Larsheth Ka. Jaraval, Jaraval, Jaraval. And they all start moving towards you in unison as more come around the bend.
We're leaving. We're leaving.
All right, yeah. We're gonna commence our Scooby-Doo chase scene. But before we do that, I want to throw like pocket sand up in the air. I want to try to cast Phantasm to make an illusion, to make it look like we just like instantaneously like implode and die. To try to throw them off our trail.
Okay.
Nice.
Pocket sand.
Is there anything
So
pocket sand cannot do? Roll your dice.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, which
right,
epithet?
Yes, I'll invoke that he who fractures reality with words. I will command our bodies to implode, as in reality we run away, very gracefully.
Something.
So that'll be
when danger raiders have the
+1
head.
or
Is your
+2 dice? It's a +2 epithet.
so you're gonna roll 4 dice.
Gotcha.
Okay, that kind of 5, 2, 6, and 4. Let's see what we can.
Looks
do.
like 2 of the dice need to equal 10. I see a 6 and a 4 there.
Nice.
Hold on, I'm just scrolling up to. It's not. I believe you. I just want to see what your options are.
Oh yeah, for sure. Go for it.
And you were doing
Phantasm.
Phantasm. Okay, yeah. So you and let me double check something. This is going to be a burning success.
Okay.
You toss the sand into the air, and it swirls around in a small dust devil for a few moments before taking your shape. One of the creatures lunges towards the phantasm you've created and is stopped in its tracks.
Look at.
Well, that's a good distraction there.
It
I'm here for
it
that.
stops as though it had hit something solid.
My
Nice.
smile instantly turns into a frown as I mutter, "Oh God."
What
As
do you mean, oh god.
It doesn't matter of speech.
So, real
Wait,
quick, the result was the illusion gains reality beyond your control. If you mark fire, you can tame it, but not dispel it.
Honestly, it's serving us by staying that way for now.
I'm gonna invoke fire and tell it, "Do not follow us or seek vengeance on us for creating this like reality for you, where you kind of like endlessly implode." Because I would want to do that if I was brought into this world just to do that.
I mean, if it's just an illusion, it should be fine, right? Like, light doesn't have a consciousness to be grumpy about,
Alright,
imploding constantly.
as you retreat from the what was supposed to have been illusions, you see them setting on the body. As you glance back, you see them setting on the bodies you have created, and can hear them saying "Namash Ketara Sol Taresh."
You know, I don't think that they gain power over us if they eat our illusory made manifest flesh, but you never know.
That is
Problem
not
for later
something
day.
I'd like to that is not something I'd like to stick around to find out.
Indeed. Problem for a later day.
So, you retreating from the Hall of Abominations, for lack of a better word, or the Horde of Abominations, you do still occasionally in the distance you do still hear the skittering approaching, but it is at some distance, and every now and then you hear the repeated chant of Jaraval, Jaraval, Jaraval.
Now, can we get some clarification? Are we still fleeing downwards? I feel like we could flee further in or leave the temple. Which way are we fleeing?
The path you have pretty much just it's pretty much a straight path. You have found doors off to the side that you cannot see the mechanism for opening. But on the path you're on, there have also been similar doors that looks like they have been opened by overwhelming force.
Well, but what I'm asking though is, are we going further in or are we trying to leave?
You are going further into the temple,
Yeah.
Okay.
following
We
the
cannot
trail
leave
of Kashad.
Kashad without our vengeance for our pendant or amulet.
Let's, these things, we seem to be able to handle them pretty readily thus far.
If anything,
Okay.
they're very easy to outrun.
I'm good with that. I just
Even though they
wanted
have so many legs.
to make sure.
They're
I
not the
understood.
right type of legs.
And they're not all in the right place.
I see, that's true.
So, you proceed, and as you continue through this hall, the rushing water you heard before is getting louder and louder until you emerge into a sort of a shrine. Looking up, what appears to be stormwater from above is draining into this room and out through the floor. In the path of the water, there is a statue of Tapestra, not actually her, stands holding a sword with the water gushing over it. Kneeling before her is another figure with face obscured by wear and tear of ages. In the figure's hands are two pans, like just a large flat, something like you'd see somebody use a pan for gold. Just this wide, shallow bowl in each hand. One of the hands is held low, and the other hand is held high. The water that's coming from above is flowing past the blade and into the lower hand.
So this is not a statue. This is a person.
It is two statues.
Okay, it's two statues. Okay.
I think the second statue's the guy who Tapestry might have taken the storm domain from. Storm Floods, maybe?
So as you enter this little shrine area, the kneeling figure is on the left. The water flows from above, and the tapestry figure is on the right. The sword proceeding above the path you would take. On the far side is a pair of the Orichalcum doors shut tight, but you do see a bloody handprint smeared along it.
Sounds like that's the way to go.
Yep, sounds like we found our man.
Plot hook. I mean, let's go that way.
I mean, thoughts like if we just start like chipping at these doors or a calcum, that's valuable. We could just maybe we just need to unhinge these doors and then we're set
Start
for food money.
stealing the architecture. We'll be gorillionaires.
Look, if the Atlanteans didn't want their doors stolen, they shouldn't have made it out of valuable stuff.
Such good quality doors.
The finest doors I've ever seen in my whole life. The door maker in the town will love to see these.
So
I mean, not for doors. Melt that down.
You step up to the door and examine it, and you do not see any mechanisms that might be used for operating the door. The bloody handprint just does not look like it was pressing a button or activating anything. It looks like it's just kind of leaned there for a moment before heading through the door.
I'm going to take this moment of relative quiet to invoke my Revenant playbook. Shade Witnesses.
Okay.
If I succeed, I can ask them a question from a particular list. I guess she who will not let go is a potential one, just because she's not letting go of the fact that there's still Atlanteans out there, probably hankering for our blood.
Right.
I will spend a heart.
Oh, thank you.
Turn it to a glowing success. Excellent. On a glowing success, they tell you useful things. Ask 2 questions.
Yes, I would like to ask, what advantage can we gain over the threat we face, the threat being the Atlanteans thus far? Ask that one.
Speed.
What future dangers can we avoid?
Trying to think how they would answer this. The shades, the spirits that surround you, are whispering like, "Oh, depends depends where you go in the future. If you go back, you can try to avoid the Atlanteans. If you move forward, you will have to avoid the danger of Kashad. He has."
I think I kind of want to see that Kashad picture.
And you can avoid the danger to the city. And that the word city just echoes and fades into the distance.
So the ghosts are saying that Kashad's gonna be doing something that risks the fate of the city, so we should probably stop that.
We could probably just kill him.
I think so.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
So is able to pick up the scent of blood now that there's fresh blood around?
Yeah, you're able to smell it, and it pretty much smells like it's just, I don't know, the door might be I don't know if any scent would go through the door, but you do smell that Kashad was here.
I think would go over and start examining the handprint.
Okay. What would you like? Is there a move, and what would you like to find out?
I think I'm trying to explore here,
Okay.
and I would be trusting my instincts.
Your instincts have served the party well.
Yeah.
Not in this particular instance.
What did we get? So that would take 3 hearts to change that to a success.
I have 1 to spare.
I can.
I have
spare
1
2.
as well.
I can
Teamwork.
spare 1 too.
We
Teamwork.
can all spare 1. Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
Thank
Under
you,
energy.
line friend.
Okay, so we bumped that up to an 8. Ask me 2 questions, Kat.
Okay. What here can I use to open the door?
Oh, the statues.
Okay, maybe if we try and get the 2 basins even.
I have one more question. What is dangerous here?
The Atlanteans.
Okay. So the statues are not dangerous, so we should try to adjust the statues, like
Yeah.
Good idea.
my good
Yes.
friend Amara suggested.
I think let's see what happens if we get the basins even with each other.
We have to roll explore for that. Or
So-
finesse?
We're gonna step away from dice for a little bit and just kind of let you guys brain through this one, unless you want to make a roll that might provide more insight. But examining the basins on the kneeling statue, attempting to push one of them down, you can feel a little bit of wiggle, but even with the 4 of you pushing against it, it does not budge from its current elevation.
Okay. Let's try
Okay.
angling the sword at the
Yeah,
same direction that the basins are angled at.
I was about to suggest messing with the other statue as well.
It's like we need the wild force of water to move them.
Okay, so when
Could be.
you check out the statue of Tapestra, God, I'm great with names. You do see that the pommel of the sword in her hands, you can twist the entire sword by turning the pommel. What angle were you turning it to?
To match that in which the basins are held. So you said the 1 basin's high, 1 basin's low, then we turn the sword to match that.
So it actually is more or less tilted in that direction already.
Okay, let's try.
With the water being diverted off the sword into the lower basin.
Okay, let's divert it onto the upper basin, see if we can get them even that way.
Okay, so you turn the sword, and the water coming down that before was just going off to the 1 basin now splits. Is split by the sword and hits both of the basins, bringing the upper one down and the lower one up. And with just a bit of adjustment, after a while you hear a click, and the doors ahead of you slide open as the slapping, skittering, wet footsteps of the Atlanteans come from behind you, saying "Namesh Katara Soltaresh."
Okay. Behind the behind the metal
go.
doors we go.
Let's get going.
They outsmarted our phantasms.
So, well, the phantasms did not last.
Oh,
Uh,
poor lads. What a terrible fate.
so you head through the opening doors and into a there's a short corridor of the Orichalcum walls, and after proceeding through that a short distance, it opens up into another temple before you. You hear these skittering footsteps behind you stop. As you look back, the twisted the twisted Atlanteans are not crossing the threshold of the door. Before you see Kishad with his back to you, and before him is yet another statue to Tapastra, and he's chanting in a forgotten language as you enter. And as before, he offers up the pendant to Tapastra, and you
like
hear
it the first time, buddy.
You hear a booming voice ring out throughout the tavern. Twice you have offered me the amulet of the betrayer, Shara. You have insulted me, and you shall pay for your insolence, and your city will fall with you. And she just unleashes this torrent of energy into Kishad, whose body starts twisting in a manner similar to the Atlanteans, except with him, his arms and legs elongate. As the first creature you saw, his arms are now bent in 3 places instead of just a shoulder and elbow bending. There's like an extra joint in each arm. His fingers extend into claws, and he howls out in pain as he turns. As he's thrashing ground, he turns and sees you approaching from behind and says, "You shall not have the amulet. It is mine. I shall have the power of Tapastra at my disposal. Olar Seth Nome Olar Seth Ka." And from there, he continues to babble in the language of the Atlanteans and turns towards you, not too happy to see you.
Tapastra.
It's not his city. A lot of people live here.
And as he approaches you, you are starting to feel, you hear thunder, which you shouldn't be able to hear this far underground, but as you hear it, the walls of the temple are shaking just a little bit.
Okay. Either the only ways to stop the storm, I imagine, is either suck up to Tapastra, but that we all know how that's going to go, or B, hardest power the amulet, which means we need that amulet. It means we need to shake Kishad. Unless any of y'all see any alternatives.
Not that I can
No,
think
that's what
of.
I see there.
Was that
I'll
you trying
point
to
towards
entice
me.
us to fight Kishad?
Yeah.
Make your roll.
Okay. Let's see. I think this is a bit sentimental, so I will invoke my epithet of mawkish. But it is a +0, so there's no point to it. So, bup. There. Yeah, well, worth a shot.
Okay, what did we get? That is a miss. What happens when you miss on an entice?
Your temptation falls attracting the ire of a world force, and you get to decide that.
There's a world force ahead of you, and it starts crawling in your direction with its fist slamming into the ground, causing slight tremors as it moves towards you.
Okay. Guess we're shaking.
We'll go. I'll point towards our newfound, not necromanced friend, and I'll tell him to sick him.
All right. I'm gonna say, give
Which
me.
one of you had?
Go ahead.
Sorry, just which one of you had the thing that gave us a +1 buff?
The roar.
That was, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, could be good to start out the battle with a buff.
Right. So, for your not zombie friend, give me a fighting roll, and we're gonna say his epithet is a +1.
Okay. How many dice do I roll for that? Is it just 2?
This is just gonna be like a normal move, so just roll 2 dice.
Okay. Alrighty, little buddy, you can do it. I believe in him. He's gonna deliver.
Hey.
Okay, there we go. He's gonna deliver. I'm here for it.
Okay, so he dutifully charges towards the massive abomination before you and flips the sword around and sinks it into the wrist of Kashad's new form. Kashad howls out in pain, being wounded by this, but then thrashes his arm and knocks your zombie friend across the room into a wall. He is still capable of moving, but he is a bit worse for wear.
Good for him.
So,
Tried his best.
you said that Kashad still had like the amulet in their hands.
Yes.
Right? So I
Yes.
feel like I should try to do an ugly thing move.
Okay.
So I have a chance to interfere with an object or plan. So I want to interfere with the amulet. So I'm gonna try to like see what I can do with it.
You try to snatch it from him.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like
pretty
that.
much.
Go ahead and give me your ugly roll.
So I think this is who trusts their instincts, which is a +1 roll.
All right. Roll them bones.
Oh, not very good.
All right. Anybody want to throw a heart that way?
I'm out.
I have
I have one final heart.
I have 2 hearts I can throw. So unfortunately, no, I don't think
This
it'll
is
make.
like the last fight. I think we can just go all in with the
Okay.
hearts.
So, the plan snaps its jaws shut on me. How does that happen, Betty?
Let's see. Oh, I'm just looking
Maybe
at the
Kashad.
movie.
Maybe Kashad literally snaps his jaws on you.
Yes, literally, and you will take a wound. So you run, you dash in for the amulet and get to his hand and start trying to divest him of it. His hand closes around you, and he raises it up and just punches you back into the floor.
Owie zowie.
So not literally jaws, but
Okay. I suppose for my turn, I will be doing the Revenant fighting move, Breath of Tombs.
bring
The
the
Great
death
Northern
breath.
Vowel Shift won't get me yet. I'm gonna invoke my epithet of the sharp. Please don't be too good. Please don't be too good.
That's a glow.
There.
Alright, so let's see. Glowing success on.
Nearest enemy takes 1 wound. If they are still alive, I also take a wound as directed.
Alright, so you unleash the unholy smoke as you did before, and it swirls around his body, burning him where it touches him. And as before, he howls out in pain and swings one of his massive arms at you and knocks you sliding across the floor.
Okay, so is it specifically the epithet we invoked that gets damaged in such instances, or any one of our epithets?
Any epithet.
Okay, I will wound my 0-1 then.
Okay.
Just me?
Okay, so I am going to use the my promise action from the Vessel playbook.
Okay.
And if I succeed, I may change a miss to a glowing success, but everybody still remembers the miss's effects. So would I be able to use that for ugly thing that failed earlier, or
Oh,
'cause it
that's
says
fun.
rewind time?
That's
Yes.
That's
fun.
pretty cool.
No, I like that. That's really cool.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bump my microphone there.
Alright, go ahead and make. Go ahead and invoke
It's okay,
and
time
make that
rewound.
roll.
Time rewound.
I
We
will
remember
say,
it.
I will say
but time is
the
rewound.
wound that I'm going to wound is who does what their patron commands. So he flagellates, and that is 2d6 plus 1.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Okay. So you take a wound.
Wait, is 12 the... What number starts the burning success?
11.
Oh, so we'd have to, like, spend 2 hearts if we wanted to just turn this into a glowing success?
Yes. So he still
Wait, can I
causes a
spend my
wound.
own? Can I spend my own hearts to do that?
No, somebody else has to
Okay.
have a heart with your name on it that you gave them.
I have 1 heart for Desir. We're allowed to leave us.
Uh,
That would be an 11.
I'll spend 1 also.
okay, so dragging that down to a glowing success. So yeah, everybody sees the events that have unfolded before playing out in reverse. And what was the move? Oh, so and it gets
Yeah,
to the
so
point.
Ugly Thing succeeds.
It gets to the point where ran to grab the thing from Kashad's hand, and he stops, ducks back as the hand tries to close on him, but then dives back in and grabs the amulet and wrests it away from him. As you do so, Kashad rears back, howling. Excuse me. So he rears back, howling in pain, saying "Eshtul Karanim, Eshtul Ka," as he falls to the ground, collapsing into a heap. About this time, you turn and you see the Atlanteans from before that were previously waiting at the outside of the door that you came through. They're coming through, but they're not approaching in the aggressive way they did before. They begin to surround the fallen form of Kashad, saying Namesh Ketara Soltaresh. Except this time, you understand what they're saying, even though it's in Atlantean. By stormlight we devour the false. And they begin to do exactly that, ignoring you. The rumbling, however, is still going on.
So we do have the amulet.
You do have the amulet. Kashad is being ripped to
Let's
pieces.
use it, and then try to use it once we're on the surface and away from the Atlanteans.
Okay. So, as you flee away...
If folks are cool.
Is everybody cool with that plan?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, works for me.
So, as you remove the offending amulet from the presence of Tapestra, you feel the thunderous rumblings of the ground around you subside, as though her anger, she's not hangry, as her anger seems to abate, as when eventually you return to the surface. The city survives, but you can see that many buildings have been destroyed and many lives have been lost by the actions of Kashad.
Was it really a shot, or was it just Tapestra being mean?
Column A, column B. Eventually, you're after studying the amulet for some time. Some days have passed since the incidents beneath the city. The other artifacts, well, you were keeping the artifacts, but you managed to pick up a few bits and baubles as you fled, and probably a few
We
from
got-
the...
Royal Guard's corpse.
He did not make it out.
Oh.
Oh, but you have his gear. Yeah, you can sell his
Okay,
gear.
we have his jewel. We have his
Yeah,
jewelry.
okay.
We have his jewelry. We are eating
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah,
Once we help with the flood recovery.
you did have time with Kashad to recover a few of his valuable things that no longer were on his body after his transformation. Some time of properly studying the amulet instead of just pawning it for a quick meal, well, a few quick meals. You learn that it is an amulet created by Shara for purposes you haven't quite determined yet. Possibly something, but you believe it was something that the priesthood would wear to show devotion to Shara. The amulet itself doesn't necessarily have significant power. Most of the destruction was brought forth by the rage of Tapestra at being offered an amulet of some that belonged to somebody who had betrayed her.
Yeah. I'm dreaming that this would be powerful enough to do something meaningful against Tapestra. Silly to think so, but, a gal can dream.
So over time, the city recovers from the loss, as cities do. New oligarchs fill the void created by Kashad's timely death. And they still... You continue to be treated as the untouchables as before. And most importantly, life goes on in the city of Lassalin. Alrighty. I hope everybody had fun. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up there.
That was fun.
Yes, that was great.
Thank you all for joining. For people watching, leave comments, like, subscribe. Check out my I left a link for the pro GMing services I provide down in the comments. Our friend Chris here. It's TikTok, right, Chris?
No, it's YouTube.
No, your thing.
Yeah, it's YouTube.
So, Chris here has a channel called Pop One Open where he reviews assorted sodas. If you want to...
Where's the shirt?
Oh, yep. Show us the shirt.
Shirt.
Yep. Stop by, check his channel out. And thank you all for joining us, and you all have a wonderful evening.